The girl now, as leader of the Empire's three great heroes, was now truly scared. Scared to the point now of losing control of her bladder and bowel by simply a single man, because the terrifying power he displayed then was truly an insurmountable mountain. She could never overcome this in her lifetime now. However, before this moment here, the man, as the dungeon's final, true boss, had to endure daily insults from his subordinates too, because truly as the final boss, instead of thinking now about how to upgrade and transform his dungeon each day, he was busy truly romancing his obedient and adorable little Maid. He even created a legend in the outside world to build their love nest also. Whoever conquers this dungeon will ascend to the throne definitely, and then become the supreme deity. Once this news truly spread, countless adventurers flocked to the dungeon. This time it's the Empire's strongest warrior. Burn LED 108 legendary adventurers too, with the sole purpose indeed of completely conquering the dungeon. But the moment they stepped inside then, their entire team was instantly reduced to fewer than 40 brave people. Although Burn appeared calm and even composed at this grave moment, just truly thinking about that battle scene from a bit early made his very soul shiver with a cold dread now. But precisely as the strong leader of this team here, he simply had to hold his proud head high now, and bravely lead his trusting subordinates right forward now. After they were walking for what seemed a long time now, they came swiftly to an ancient and quite heavy door indeed. Based sharply on their rich adventurer experience here, they could tell at just a glance that this was the dungeon's end, the final boss's imposing chamber, just as those rumors described. Mountains of sparkling gold and silver treasures were on display, along with a grand throne that all adventurers dreamed of, the single seat that would make true gods of them now. However, right at that very moment now, the ancient dungeon suddenly began to shake most violently. This sudden strange situation made Burn's true heart tremble, but he calmed down ever so quickly and methodically commanded his subordinates for formation adjustment, placing brave swordsmen and knights right at the front, while wise mages used light magic to illuminate the dark area. But suddenly when the light orbs rose into the air, a truly bone-chilling coldness shot up his spine quickly. What suddenly came into view then was an indescribably massive and terrifying dark creature. Seeing this dark scene Burn, all were instantly frozen in terror now. The horribly massive creature opened its bloody maw wide, and countless agonizing screams echoed throughout the entire dark dungeon, until moments later, eerie silence fell once again here. But just then, a lone skeleton slowly emerged from the darkness there. Once again, I've dealt with the invaders, and you see, my master, have simultaneously dealt with two formidable foes now. At this crucial moment, is that truly your conclusion here? The very being known as history's most terrifying dungeon boss now proudly lifted his weary head up. Yes, indeed, I defeated two enemies simultaneously now, the foolish invaders and my drowsiness then. So the exhausted boss then said sheepishly, "Can you please withdraw and let me finally rest now?" Hearing all this, the skeleton immediately flew into quite a rage. As the true final boss of this very dungeon, not only do you sleep when foes invade here, you even dare yawn right in front of them now? Do you even think this is at all acceptable here? Your entire attitude is seriously quite problematic. The skeleton was somewhat frantically furious now, shouting loudly toward the side there. "Renee, say something right now. Don't just stand there motionless, like some doll." At that moment, a white-haired girl slowly emerged from shadows dark. Renee thinks the boss did wonderfully well this time truly. That matchless really and powerful figure has now been deeply imprinted in Renee's pure heart. The overwhelming love then materialized at once, and struck so hard against the skeleton's smooth that single bones, the skeleton then slumped dejectedly onto a nearby chair. "How did I end up with teammates like this ever? This entire dungeon is doomed sooner or later here." At this point then, Renee consoled him from right the side. "Look, the boss merely fabricated a completely false legend, and countless humans flocked here, like moths drawn to a flame. But sadly, those humans are far too very weak still. They already lost most of their equipment now, just at the fierce man-eating plant checkpoint itself." Then Renee said this, with a wronged expression indeed. "If the humans had passed safely through the checkpoint I designed, I could easily guarantee their equipment wouldn't be badly damaged." Seeing Renee's gradually declining mood right there, the dragon's mighty body began to be surrounded by dark, countless black shadows now. The very next second, a human figure emerged from the shadows so dark, and gently stroked sweet Renee's head softly. "Yes, I deeply believe you can definitely do it truly." Getting this kind affirmation, Renee instantly became quite happy now. But the lonely skeleton on the side had a rather dark expression now. "You truly came here for a serious meeting, not to obviously flirt with each other at all. The sour stench of your silly romance is going to corrode all the tea that I've personally protected for hundreds of long years now." The poor skeleton became somewhat truly manic at this point now, sometimes laughing most heartily, sometimes acting quite crazy, too, instantly breaking the warm atmosphere that was originally there. Renee on the side even clenched her fists and glared fiercely at it. Then Renee said rather seriously, The 10th dungeon conference officially begins right now. Let's all get straight to the actual point. As we all anticipated here, the humans correctly attacked the man-eating plant guard crossroad, but this time it truly was severely injured indeed, with a total of 116 tentacles severed at this current point. The man said while plainly yawning. Don't even worry so much about it. The man-eating plant's regeneration ability exceeds your imagination entirely. If it really just can't recover fully, then we'll just replace it with a brand new gatekeeper soon. Hearing this, the skeleton said quite happily, then, boss, if you're now hiring, please help me recruit 2 assistants, so I can legitimately slack off then. Without even thinking, the man directly refused. You signed a lifetime contract indeed. Don't even think about resting in this very lifetime. Regardless now, according to recent intelligence reports here, the humans are reorganizing a new subjugation team it seems, and with their truly unique telepathic magic, they should already know the crucial information now about the vacant guard on the right passage too. Since that's truly the case, we can't just sit and wait like this. From now on, you'll switch guarding positions, Renee, right away. You'll take over the man-eating plant's position there. When they discover Renee has switched to the right door then, they'll definitely head straight to the left door soon, allowing us to ambush all of the humans unexpectedly right then. Hearing this very plan, Renee immediately showed an adoring expression. This truly is a perfectly flawless plan indeed. Right at this point, the skeleton raised a valid question. But what if they somehow go through the middle door too? This single sentence itself immediately plunged all 3 of them into a terrible silence then. The man wiped away the nervous sweat from his own forehead and then said, with full confidence indeed, when that very time truly comes, I'll guard the important middle door myself certainly. Since this guarding matter has been thoroughly resolved now, there's truly just one last little thing left here. How then should we now handle the sword that the strongest warrior brought? This fine sword is indeed ranked 14th among the 36 masterpieces, recognized fully by humans certainly, capable of easily cutting even through the hardest obsidian stone. Hearing all this, the man showed little clear interest now. The treasury already certainly has many such weapons. Even the weapon there in Renee's own hand is one of those famed 36 masterpieces. Seeing the skeleton simply staring intently right at the sword, the man then said directly, if you truly want, just take the sword now. As soon as he finished speaking, the skeleton was quite stunned in its place. The draft he had prepared for so very long couldn't be uttered. The man spoke once again at this very moment now. Since you've now gotten this sword, now tear up that resignation letter you've truly hidden under your rib. If you still want to quit, I don't mind sticking the sword right in your head. Finally now, it's time for our quite favorite loot distribution phase. Just like before now, we'll use the equipment we don't quite need to lure humans, and sell the remaining valuable equipment for cold hard money. However, this time around, the master plan has changed slightly now. I'll personally go to the human world to conduct these transactions myself. As soon as he said all this, the other 2 were shocked and truly alarmed. Under their persistent and continuous persuasion now, the main man had to abandon his initial previous idea, and agreed instead to change the person going out to Renee right now. But with one critical condition, she must bring back some delicious food. After deciding now on the perfect right candidate, Renee set off swiftly on her long journey to the Empire to trade gems. She soon enough found a very promising trading post, but after a quick inspection, the owner outright refused to purchase them. Hearing all this, Renee was immediately filled with intense killing intent. The owner then lowered his massive body and took out a lustrous blue gem instead. This one here is our store's most prized treasure, but at the absolute most, it's only a B-ranked gem sadly. However, any gem inside your bag is a stunning SSS ranked gem, far truly superior even to sapphires out there. According to strict imperial law now, only 2 places can trade such precious gems truly, either at the location of high-ranking mages from the Mage Tower, or at the location of royal mages serving the royal family themselves. But this place is simply too far from the capital city, so we can only choose to go directly to the Mage Tower. Hearing all this, Renee truly felt frustrated then, because the Mage Tower was just full of cunning and treacherous bastards all around. But if it was indeed for Master Swallow now, then Renee would certainly do just about anything indeed. Subsequently, Renee came quickly to the nearest Mage Tower then. After clearly stating her true purpose to the guard now, she was subsequently led to a small, quiet room on the top floor. But when the arrogant mage saw Renee's plain and simple clothing now, she clearly showed undisguised disdain then indeed. Without any restraint now, Renee quickly pulled down her hood then, truly not wanting to cause any trouble here, and directly poured out all the magic gems from her bag right there. Looking at the crystal clear gems now scattered before her very eye, Amir's beating heart was already stirred up greatly like a stormy sea now. She eagerly grasped them in her own hands so tight. These truly are all top SSS ranked gems, my word. The girl before her became increasingly mysterious in Amir's very eye. What kind of identity did this girl truly have now? When Amir saw the white hair revealed just under the hood, her own heart suddenly jumped with a start. start. Among the Empire's Grand Eight great family, one family's distinctive feature was gorgeous silver white hair indeed. Could she possibly be the young lady from that famed family, who perhaps ran away from home now with those gems? Thinking of this now, Amir couldn't help but reveal a slight sly smile. Then this child must be truly inexperienced in worldly matters, right? She immediately then said, I apologize for my earlier rudeness, truly. We are willing to purchase these gems at 80 gold coins each, of course. Hearing this now, a bone-chilling killing intent rose from behind them. Renee human, it echoed darkly. If you still wish to make such poor joke, you will die. This sudden change in attitude was clear. Seemed to greatly frighten this high-ranking mage. You see, it appeared this young lady wasn't as naive as she had truly imagined that. To appease Renee, she truly had to offer a reasonable price point. Currently, sadly, the guild doesn't have quite enough funds to buy all gems. We're willing now to trade on the base rate of 2,000 gold coins you see, plus fully complete this present transaction. Through bartering indeed, she then led Renee right to the treasury itself. Among the quite dazzling array of rare treasures kept safely, Renee instantly set her immediate sights on it right now. This was a heart-shaped unique gem called Crimson Love. Definitely. It could even help you find your ideal soul lover quickly. You just needed then to inject some magic power into it in front of your beloved, and therefore you would obtain undying true love for sure. Hearing this, Renee's bright eyes immediately lit up very much. I truly want this specific one. But Amir then picked up the gem and said slowly, now, this rare gem is extremely precious, you understand. Worth really far more than all your remaining gems at all. But just the next second now, Amir's shocked expression changed drastically. Why do you indeed have one of the 36 masterpiece weapons craft? Renee simply made up her firm mind and said calmly, I'll trade truly all the gold coins from the previous transaction, and also this current weapon right in my own hand for the gem now. Renee then swiftly left the mage tower feeling satisfied. But little did she really know that this gem nearly razed the entire very dungeon to the ground, because it contained the most terrifying demon sealed securely within. The exact moment she injected any magic power, she would certainly die almost instantly. However, Amir then said indifferently, this was originally a mutually agreeable and quite equal trade indeed, and you really don't need to worry now. When the powerful demon is released full, the poor girl and the person she likes will die together surely. Meanwhile, in one of the 7 evil dungeon castles now, a graceful woman wielded the tool right in her hand. Renee's gorgeous silver hair fell sharply to the ground with a snipping sound. I'm really truly sorry for always coming to really trouble you now. What's there actually to be embarrassed about here? It's perfectly very normal for neighbors simply to help each other. The one so kindly helping Renee cut her lovely hair was Elizabeth, the notorious final boss of Trite Castle ultimately. Looking at Renee's sweetly blushing little lovely face, Elizabeth couldn't help but tease this adorable and petite lolly still. Sometimes really. I'm truly jealous of your smooth skin here, that could break at a gentle touch, and your eternally youthful appearance now. Hearing this, Renee then said, Sister Elizabeth looks very youthful too. Elizabeth lifted that white cloth delicately. That's simply because you don't really know how much blood I've used to then maintain my skin's look. Then Renee asked, somewhat shyly, Sister Elizabeth, how exactly do you think I look now truly? Hearing this, Elizabeth pressed very close to her back gently. No one could refuse you just as you are exactly now. The very experienced Elizabeth could tell at one quick glance indeed, that this little girl's own heart was stirring with fresh love, dressed up beautifully like so. What are you particularly planning to even do? Renee turned back indeed with a quite happy smile. I'm quite planning to confess to Master Swallow promptly. Hearing this, Elizabeth was instantly stunned indeed, then asked with total disbelief, what exactly do you even like about him then? That absolute bastard doesn't have a single good quality, really. Little did she truly know that, under Renee's love-struck filter, not at all. Master Swallow has many truly good qualities. In my own heart, he's truly the most reliable person. But everyone in the entire dungeon surely knew that the Swallower was famous, lazy, doing really nothing but just eating and sleeping all day long. Even so, Renee still spoke of absolutely everything about the man now. Yes, he's quite greedy and also lazy, not only truly eating like a pig, but also snoring loudly when he sleeps soundly. But I still really like him. Seeing the true determination in the girl's eye, Elizabeth then stepped forward gently and patted her shoulder too, sending Renee truly sincere blessings this time. If that absolute man rejects you, then come to your own sister. Hearing these words, Renee gripped the gem right in her hand tightly indeed. I really will definitely succeed then. Meanwhile, far away in the Empire itself, a man spoke heavily. According now to intelligence report, the assault team, fiercely led by legendary warrior Burn, has been completely utterly annihilated entirely. But the councilman beside him simply didn't fully believe, slamming hard the table and rising angrily in fury. This situation here is absolutely just impossible indeed. Didn't they actually just report nearly a week ago that they easily even broke through the gatekeeper then? And absolutely no bodies have been actually found yet. The powerful Burn could never have died at the hands of mere monsters. The entire conference room instantly became quite noisy then, with only their leader truly feeling heavy-hearted and burdened, because he knew Burn had been out of true contact with them for 2 whole long days now. He was absolutely truly certain that everyone in the assault team had greatly perished, miserably, completely at the hands of brutal monsters. More importantly indeed, one of the famed 36 masterpieces, the divine sword itself, had gone missing in this very battle. After truly losing contact, they deduced that the divine sword must have surely fallen into the primordial core now. But if even someone as strong as Burn had completely failed to conquer it, and if they failed here again now, they would most definitely be executed on the spot by the Empire itself. After struggling greatly with his dark thoughts for a moment, Ford at last finally made his tough decision. They would simply no longer launch any attacks on the primordial core now. This was surely a dungeon they could not ever defeat. But just then, suddenly a sinister dark voice came from the distance. I truly don't think so at all, Lord Ford. Looking sharply toward the clear source of the voice itself, everyone all around was quite suddenly shocked. Why on earth were people from the Royal Magic Association even here? They were the deadly assassination organization under the Emperor's command, called indeed the Third Eye, specializing specifically in handling the Empire's dirty work now. You've caused the Emperor to now lose a great warrior indeed, and lost also one of the Emperor's precious 36 masterpieces still in the very enemy's lair. You should all atone with your deaths now. But I still truly have mercy here after all. If you die now, then who will handle the dungeon assault team affairs soon? So I've brought to you a true chance to actually live. But even Burn failed upon hearing all this said. An extremely cold smile slowly appeared on his face then. We'll send the much stronger Nibelheim team soon. Hearing this, a councilman asked in confusion now, isn't that unit a defective failure itself? Please watch your language carefully now. So it's truly not a failure, correct? Why couldn't Burn then and his entire assault team make it out alive? Was it only because they were weak or even careless? Neither, it's because they lacked a key factor here. Something Burn simply couldn't possess too, and Nephilim definitely has just that. This time, we will surely succeed full. At this moment, the man was lazily sprawled right on the ground, although he fully knew this really wasn't right. Powerful drowsiness was constantly eroding him deeply, but thinking that if he didn't complete the patrol mission, a certain skeleton would come charging over to scold him soon. So, after wriggling like a small worm for a moment then, he finally got up from the ground in a peculiar posture now. His immediate task was to patrol the rooms invaded by those humans, and thoroughly check the damage. The man first came to the most severely damaged primordial core area, where the Guardian was seriously injured indeed, with fewer than just 10 tentacles remaining out of an original 100. Those severe injuries were beyond even his ability to truly help. He could only wait patiently for the wounds to slowly heal themselves then. Next up, he went swiftly to room 5. Although the Guardian there was covered in terrible wounds, unlike the Guardian of the primordial core itself, it was actually very fortunate without the man's direct intervention. As long as it could continuously consume those nutrients, its many limbs could regenerate extremely rapidly now. The man then leaped right up, preparing to check all the next room. But suddenly, he paused there, remembering clearly that the first 4 rooms had been completely destroyed, and he had already finished checking the primordial core itself too. In the foul path indeed, I've done quite well for myself. The rest really can wait for later. Thinking this way, the man happily returned to his room for sleep. But the next second, a hidden weapon suddenly flashed right behind him, grazing past the man's head, embedding itself into the distant wall now. Instantly, without pause, the man prepared quickly for battle, with bone-chilling black shadows swirling ominously all around him, his fierce eyes filled with a terrifying killing intent now. Foolish human, if you dare take even one more step forward, I will surely make you pay a most terrible price. But unexpectedly, the black shadow not only stepped boldly forward, but also wielded a sharp dagger and directly attacked the man there. But the very next second, the man withdrew his previous fierce posture, and kept quickly comforting the little lowly, whose tears wouldn't stop freely flowing now. Oh, it's just you, Renee then. Sorry, did I somehow scare you just now really? The little lowly also said quite apologetically. I'm so sorry, Master Swallow. I thought truly weak humans had invaded this dungeon. Hearing this surprising news, the man broke out in a cold sweat. I almost went to meet my great-grandmother then I see. Looking intently at the gorgeously dressed little lowly here. Renee, you look really beautiful today too. Hearing all this, the little lowly was truly overjoyed now. You actually noticed, Master Swallow, didn't you? Thank you kindly for the compliment. I'm very happy right now, But at this moment the poor man suddenly became very panicked truly. Large beads of sweat were continuously flowing down his pale cheek. What exactly should I do? Renee isn't actually here to resign today. Is she really? What if she leaves now? What truly will happen to the dungeon then? But then, the little lowly's next words made the man even more nervous now. Master Swallow, can Renee speak to you privately just now? The little lowly then calmly led the swallower to a room she had carefully prepared well. At this moment, the swallower appeared outwardly calm on the surface but was panicking intensely inside. Even his hand holding the tea was trembling hard. Please don't let it be a resignation letter now. Please, oh please, don't let it actually be a resignation letter truly. Master Swallow indeed. Do you remember that today marks the very 80th anniversary of your adoption of me? Hearing this familiar voice, the man then fell into deep memory. I remember quite clearly those 80 years ago, yeah. Humans organized truly massive assault teams specifically to clear dungeons. A full and terrible 1,000 dungeons were utterly destroyed during that time indeed. Renee was even given the fierce title of Bloody Queen by those very humans. You really worked so hard. How is your right eye lately now? Hearing the swallower's deep concern about her lasting injury, Renee happily gripped tightly the corner of her simple cloth. It's almost, if not completely, healed now. These past 80 long years have truly been the happiest days of my entire life. Of course, yes, these have also been truly the happiest days for me too. At this very moment, the man suddenly realized the meaning of those happiest days. Could it truly be that Renee is here specifically to submit a formal resignation letter? So, Master Swallow, as the little lowly affectionately called the man's given name, the man was now quite panicking and simply didn't know just what to do next. Master Swallow, I really like you indeed. At this very moment then, the little lowly poured out sincerely all the buried love she had kept for 80 years now. She had waited far too long now for this crucial moment. The sudden, heartfelt confession left the man somewhat at such a loss. But indeed his swaying tale betrayed his truly joyful heart now. Renee, I've clearly received all your feelings there. But we're always indeed in such life-threatening situation. And no one ever knows when we might get fatally injured or die here. I truly don't want to accept all your love now, only to see either you or me spend the rest of our long lives in utter loneliness. Although Renee had prepared herself well for utter rejection here, she truly couldn't hold back any more feelings now. She swiftly took out that crimson gem now, and kicked away the carefully arranged table then. Renee began now to become somewhat crazy truly. Even if I must use despicable means indeed, I surely will have Master Swallow now. She then began injecting intense magic power into that gem in her hand now. Subsequently the swallower's pupils there lost total focus sadly, but then the next second swiftly, eerie black shadows soon filled the entire room along with bone-piercing chill. Killing intent permeated swiftly the entire dungeon now. Renee, do you really want to kill me now? Hearing these harsh words, the little lowly became quite at a loss. She truly didn't understand at all why Master Swallow had suddenly changed so drastically that intense fear caused the gem to fall hard to the ground, shattering now into countless small pieces. At that very moment, an eerie black figure emerged right from the gem, emitting a piercing and truly terrifying sound now. The entire dungeon was then completely shrouded in thick darkness. It wasn't until 2.5 days later that the skeleton said, "Boss, you're really amazing. Not only do you drive away human, but you've also driven away your most capable subordinate, too." He then broke into a fierce tirade against the swallower now. I really can't imagine that you would even be unable to distinguish between a friend and a simple foe. Attacking a petite and absolutely adorable little lowly so ruthlessly? Hearing all this now, the man shamefully covered his face and then asked the skeleton what to do. You should be grateful that I'm not even asking for a small raise. And you're still asking me now how to solve even this? But this really isn't entirely just your fault now. This strange gem has the real ability to bewitch vulnerable minds. And for mostly carbon-based life form, it's truly a maliciously deadly catalyst here. But that's still really no excuse at all for your wrongdoing. Hearing all this, the troubled man really wanted to argue back. So do you actually need me to help you now? Remember, I even rushed back to the dungeon from 800 long miles away, only just to see you wielding quite sharp claws at Renee there. At that intense moment, the swallower's own eyes were filled with killing intent, his poor entire body emanating a terrifying and truly frightening aura now. The skeleton quickly then came before the big boss man, but he could quickly tell at a simple glance that something was wrong with the man. This is quite clearly some mental interference from strong psychic magic. Seeing all of this, the skeleton quickly told Renee to just leave the area at once. But at this specific moment, the little lolly was actually completely mentally unstable. Her innocent eyes filled to the brim with real tears of terror now. No matter at all how much the skeleton loudly called out that it truly was useless to prevent Renee from interfering with him at all. He used the back of his blade to instantly knock the little lolly out then. At 10 meters away, he faced the completely demonized swallower alone then. After exerting tremendous effort here, he finally managed to calm the boss down now. Although the skeleton exaggerated some facts of the battle just now, he indeed played a very crucial role then. So my boss, do you vividly remember now? At this very moment, the swallower there shamefully lowered his head and apologized sincerely to the skeleton. As long as you know indeed you were wrong, I can fully understand precisely why you went crazy now. After all, it's deeply related to your past life. The swallower then asked, should I bring Renee back truly? Why are you even stating the obvious thing? That's purely because I thought you would instantly say no. That's truly because you don't fully know how important Renee is at all to the dungeon itself. First, the little lowly is solely responsible for absolutely all the food inside this dungeon. Second, we also have dungeon repair, including healing monsters. And even creating traps is all perfectly done by the little lowly here. If we lose her, the entire grand dungeon will surely be out of full operation. So you must do this before the next human attack. Become her boyfriend, even marry her perhaps. Whatever it truly takes to bring her back full. The skeleton then carefully took out something new. Take this now. It will help you search even better. It can also help stabilize your magic power too, and effectively maintain your current human form. Boss, you just truly need to know one thing now. It's extremely expensive truly. Even paying me a whole year's salary wouldn't compensate for it. The man then said confidently, don't you worry, I will definitely bring it back fully intact here. Before his leaving, the skeleton reminded him that you must urgently return to the dungeon within 5 days. The human assault team will be arriving very soon. During your absence, I can support you for at most 5 days here. If humans reach the throne room, you truly know what terrible things will then happen. The man then skillfully conjured a handsome coat. Don't worry, I'll certainly bring Renee back within 5 days. After carefully watching the boss leave just now, the skeleton finally dared to pull out the newspaper that he had hidden secretly under his very ribs now. The little lolly traded one masterpiece weapon for that shiny gem, which almost caused her sudden death indeed. If the boss knew all about this indeed, he would most definitely go on quite a killing spree. In the human world, that would be more terrifying than any apocalypse. Fortunately, he wisely resolved this critical matter. Now, let me simply read the newspaper to relax brief. But the next second, the skeleton froze right in place there, then became extremely shocked now. The newspaper clearly stated everything. The second human assault team will attack the primordial core now, within just 3 days. Recalling his confident words moments ago now, I can easily guarantee the dungeon will be safer for 5 full days. This truly meant he would face the human army alone for 2 long days, possibly even transforming fully into the dungeon's fearsome final boss. Thinking of this, even the skeleton's skull quite cracked in fear. And at this moment, the swallower was leisurely taking a relaxing nap, completely unaware that dire danger was swiftly approaching now. Once again indeed. One stands proudly above the 7 demon kings as the strongest boss ever. The other one is the most ancient supreme being for sure, worshipped deeply by countless gods and fierce demons alike. When the world's 2 strongest beings collide head-on, what kind of heaven-destroying disaster will truly erupt now? At this very moment, the mighty demon king Mel here, sitting proudly upon the imposing throne up high, was thoroughly surrounded by terrifying killing intent here. Intent indeed. For insignificant ants to dare set foot on the demon tower's top. I never stint on rewards. No, I shall grant you the honor of swift death. But a mocking smile then appeared at the corner of the man's mouth now, as he boldly stepped forward right now. I will pull you down hard from the throne you don't deserve at all, and make my very name known across this entire continent. So before you truly die, you'd better remember who sent you to hell itself. The extremely arrogant words completely enraged the demon king Mel herself, as Mel dramatically rose from her dark throne. Instantly, tremendous magic power filled the entire ominous demon tower now. The mark representing the supreme bloodline emerged visibly from her pupil. Remember well my name, for I am Mel, the 17th true heir of Demon King Asba indeed, and the very last shadow descendant left in all the world. The epic battle was certainly about to begin right now. The brave hero gripped his sword tight and launched the very first attack against Mel, but their carefully prepared ultimate weapon was actually nothing under Mel's powerful staff, instantly destroyed completely. Seeing clearly that the first round of physical attacks was simply in effect, the hero quickly commanded the 9-star grand mages to powerfully cast magic. But how could Mel ever give them a proper chance to catch their breath now? As soon as she finished speaking aloud, Mel quickly controlled fierce flames to completely bypass the hero's figure. Instantly then, the subordinates behind the hero were wholly consumed by endless dancing flame. The painful wails and heart-rending screams echoed loudly, leaving the brave hero stunned deeply with such grief. But battle, ever-changing, allowed absolutely no negligence now. Immediately then after, the scorching flames wrapped fully around the hero. At truly the critical moment, the hero quickly lifted a floor tile, blocking this fateful strike. However, Demon King Mel, slyly had already prepared a second S-rank spell, Absolute Zero, to prevent Mel entirely from successfully casting the spell. The hero threw his only remaining weapon then, and leaped mightily up, rapidly ascending forward now to Mel's front. But Mel herself was already so prepared. Ice crystals, hidden well in shadows, were ready just to strike, then attack the hero. But something that she didn't expect was that a strong magic barrier rose quickly in front of the hero now, effectively blocking those dangerous ice crystals. Mel immediately became truly panicked. I was absolutely certain truly I had killed all the mages. Why then would a barrier appear suddenly in front of him? Just then distant light intensely caught Mel's full attention. There actually were mages indeed who had survived the endless flame. They used their remaining magic power now to cast a final defensive spell, just for the hero right there. Helplessly, Mel indeed had to give up and interrupt her spell cast, gathering all her magic power, right at her fingertips there, and then fiercely attacking the hero's sword there. Just as the two opposing sides were about to truly collide, the ceiling suddenly echoed with violent, crashing impact, then crashed down hard, directly on both Mel and the hero right there. The massive impact force violently threw both of them a full 10 meters away. At this moment, they both looked toward the very center of the room in total shock. What exactly just happened? As the smoke slowly began to clear away, a mysterious man's figure appeared right within it all. He questioned, "Do you even know where Hastings could be?" The inexplicable question clearly left everyone utterly stunned, and they cursed aloud right at the strange man there. "You caused all of us serious injuries over such a trivial matter." At this tense point, the hero reminded them all, "Although you nearly caused me to actually lose, you should still stay far away from that fearsome demon king right over there." Only then did the surprised swallower finally notice, "She's truly the demon king of this very demon tower. No real wonder I smell a quite familiar scent indeed. The same scent exactly as the first demon king from 1,000 years ago now. But why is she so truly hostile toward me specifically? Could it be perhaps that we're too many generations apart now, creating quite a generation gap between specifically us?" While the swallower was indeed pondering, the heroes there, reinforcements had finally arrived on the scene. Without even a single word spoken, they commanded their mighty forces to attack the demon king once more. At this very moment, the swallowers still stood there in place, asking everyone truly if they knew the way to Hastings. But sadly no one paid him any real attention at all. The only response truly was the harsh clash of magic and weapons now, along with constantly falling building debris all around. This indeed made the swallower increasingly irritated. That is it really indeed so hard to just ask for some directions specifically? He then looked upwards toward the wide sky above him. Should I perhaps go somewhere else to ask for the direction? But just then, an assault squad quietly surrounded the swallower entirely. Just as they were closely about to approach it, the very next second, terrifyingly cold it became. Killing intent flowed darkly from his piercing eyes now. "Shut up now, noisy humans," he boomed. He then chillingly transformed into his indescribable original true form. In just a single instant here, all 100 humans present were completely devoured indeed by the swallower. The terrifying scene right before her eyes immediately shook Demon King Mel. Watching the looming swallower approach her now step by step, just a single echoing burp was enough to make her instantly lose all color, fearing she too now would be swallowed whole. But the very next second now, Mel's eyes lit up suddenly. "I've fallen deeply for you. I truly want to know you." She then began circling around the enigmatic man. "Who are you exactly? What's your true name? Why do you possess such immense, powerful strength overall?" Looking intently at the infatuated woman right before it, the powerful swallower was immediately disgusted greatly. So Mel confidently reintroduced herself full. "I am Mel, the 17th legitimate heir of Demon King Asba completely, and truly the last shadow descendant existing in the world. So tell me, what's your true name then?" Looking closely at Mel's flirtatious expressions and small movement, the swallower's rising disgust reached a fever pitch. But now, in order to obtain some important intelligence, he reluctantly still revealed a name now. "My given name is D." Just then now, the swallower suddenly and instantly stopped. Suddenly and clearly remembering the warning the skeleton gave him before leaving. Under no circumstances at all should he reveal his real name, or this action would surely cause an uproar throughout the empire, and furthermore, make finding Renee much more difficult too. So, quite quickly, the swallower borrowed a fake name of a simple man from a small village he had previously passed through recently. "My name is Dove Droney." Although this felt extremely awkward now, this name was now the only name the swallower could quickly think of at the moment. Who truly would have thought that Mel didn't even care at all? "Then I shall call you Mr. Dove from now forward." "So, Mr. Dove, first, I truly want to thank you greatly. Without your own timely help indeed, I might just have lost to the humans' despicable war tactics indeed. So how exactly do you now need me to repay you anyway? Hearing all this, the Swallower immediately asked quite excitedly, do you perhaps know where Hastings actually is right now? But Mel's curious response left the Swallower completely devastated now. What exactly is Hastings? How could she even ask that? Such a question indicates either she's completely directionally challenged now, or she simply has absolutely no real idea where Hastings really is now. So, the Swallower changed his whole approach and tactic. Then do you perhaps know where the absolute nearest village really is? The nearest village, as far as I honestly know myself, Yaz is indeed the closest village right here to us. Hearing this crucial information, the Swallower's whole expression immediately froze up. Yaz? Isn't that actually the Empire's capital city? At this very moment, the Swallower deeply wanted to curse aloud now. To even get from Yaz over to Hastings would certainly take 2 whole weeks even by running and crawling constantly. The Swallower immediately collapsed to the cold hard ground in utter despair. What's suddenly wrong now, Mr. Duff? Why did you suddenly become so utterly dejected just now? Do you truly think it's too far then? Then perhaps you can take the spatial hub device itself. Hearing this explanation, the Swallower then asked, what exactly is a spatial hub device even? It's a miracle, you see, created by humans using magic and alchemy here. It has quite incredible spatial traversal capabilities indeed, able now to cross half a continent in an extremely short time frame. Hearing this explanation, the man jumped up quickly with a whoosh. Then where exactly is it now? So Mel gracefully led the Swallower toward the imperial capital. Yet, at this moment, the Swallower curiously then asked, aren't you indeed the master of the Demon Lord's Grand Castle? Is it truly okay for you to be away for so very long here? Are you truly worried about me? I'm quite happy to hear, but you really don't need to worry about any of this here. As the Supreme Sovereign, worshipped now by countless gods and demons, wherever I set my foot becomes instantly my domain, and within my own domain, all monsters will become part of my very army. Hearing all this, the man praised aloud. Is this truly the undeniable power of the great Demon King? For as long as you simply wish, you could summon a demon army quite capable of destroying heaven and earth now. Right, of course indeed. Then Mel smiled rather mischievously, though I've actually never tried summoning demons before at all. Immediately after, Mel declared this confidently. My father could do it quite effortlessly, so I can too, and there's just no reason I can't summon now. The moment I fully took over as Demon King now, not only was the Demon Lord's castle damaged by half seriously, but there were fewer than 100 monsters with combat capabilities too. This is mainly now because of the somewhat poor geographical location. Easy enough to defend, but it's certainly hard to attack from here, so no humans are even willing to organize assault teams for attack now, and absolutely no monsters are willing to even come apply for jobs either. Then Mel stood right on the street and shouted loud, I do truly believe that with my own powerful strength, I'll soon definitely get through this difficult period here, and indeed become the most powerful Demon King around the world ever. First, now let me take you to collect some useful intelligence here. At this very moment, the Swallower's view of Mel truly changed. She didn't seem quite as foolish as he had initially imagined now. But then the next second hit. Mel led the Swallower right to a bar and started chugging alcohol all on her own. The Swallower then asked in sheer confusion, weren't we actually here to look for some intelligence? Why come straight to a bar right after finishing her tasty beer? Mel then let out a very satisfied burp indeed, wiped her mouth cleanly and then explained, it seems you simply don't quite understand human society. Bars are precisely where all the crucial intelligence from across the whole continent is carefully gathered. People hailing from all different directions surely congregate here, and just as long as you listen quite carefully, you can certainly obtain first-hand intelligence directly from all over the world. And you, Mr. Duff, you just simply need to carefully collect the intelligence you need. However, there actually may be some unexpected surprises along the way. Hearing this explanation, the Swallower prayed, this truly is indeed a very good method to use. But just then, a noisy crowd in the distance grabbed his attention now. He saw a boisterous group of burly men standing before a bulletin board there. The Swallower casually and quickly took down a notice now, which turned out to indeed be a recruitment notice then, specifically for a dungeon assault team as well. This was yet another method of gathering crucial intelligence. Relatively speaking too, the gathered intelligence here was more reliably accurate too, and importantly, it is updated in real time now. But humans were still quite so blind and greedy then, like moths flocking intensely to flames in large groups. But in essence, this was good for them so. However, indeed, it was precisely and only this statement that exposed this man's true identity. What exactly do you mean by us now? Could it possibly be that you're also a demon hailing from the dungeon? Although in truth, I found this quite strange from the very beginning. If you were truly just an ordinary demon, you couldn't possibly have this freedom to leave the tower too. So exactly who are you faced with? Mel's persistent questioning now. The Swallower, then, could only awkwardly change up the subject at hand. Fortunately, Mel didn't continue really pressing further, and temporarily let the poor swallower off the hook, really. At this very time, the title of a document caught the man's keen attention. This here was precisely the dungeon he was guarding closely. But the good news was that the assault team roster was thankfully empty. Seeing the swallower staring motionlessly up for quite so long, Mel also excitedly wanted to look together closely too. Unable indeed to withstand Mel's persistent and constant pestering, the swallower ultimately had to tear down the document now, and move it right in front of her then. Are you also interested closely in the primordial core itself? How do you really know about this dangerous dungeon? Mel said then with such an excited expression shown. Of course, definitely. This dungeon truly is the pinnacle existence amongst the 7 great evil dungeons. The target indeed that all demons dream eagerly of, and even far more famous than the primordial core is the final boss ruling and controlling the dungeon always, an ancient and unspeakable entity that strikes real fear into all guardians fully. The strongest demon, he knew, the swallower was, who was also the demon that I admire the very most. Hearing this now, the swallower immediately made a swift decision. He absolutely could not let her truly know his real identity now. However, the real honest reason Mel liked him so was simply because she truly wanted to become even stronger. She really didn't want to be just a mere dungeon manager. She wanted to certainly use her powerful strong strength and truly charismatic personality to attract demons like-minded now, to ultimately become her loyal subordinates instead. Just looking at the spirited Mel standing there now, the swallower couldn't help but also feel a trace of nostalgia now. Once upon a past time, he too was quite full of such passion. Just like young Mel way back then it seemed, he firmly led an unstoppable and powerful grand army capable indeed of flattening half the continent. He even truly lived and carefully studied with those humans, to keenly learn all the world's vast knowledge right there, giving fully his all for them too. But then in the definite end discovered that none of it had any meaning. So later on, he became indifferent to almost absolutely everything. Then, in time, he found his life's goal, to eat well and simply be lazy. During this exact time, as the swallower was reminiscing deeply, Mel had already quickly drunk herself totally unconscious, helplessly now. The swallower then had to carry Mel indeed and get a room just to rest for the night. But just as he was right about to leave now, the vital intelligence he had just fully checked was quickly replaced. And now the brand new intelligence read aloud, led directly by Niflheim with 31 second rank adventurers now. They certainly will reassault the primordial core within exactly 72 hours. Early the very next morning, under the truly gentle sun, Mel slowly got herself up. I simply can't remember what happened yesterday at all. Do you actually know, Mr. Dove? But the next precise second, the swallower was so incredibly shocked he became entirely incoherent. Then he panicked severely and fell quickly to the hard ground. Only after clearly hearing a deeply familiar voice did the swallower truly confirm that the person before him was indeed actually Mel. But why exactly have you suddenly become so very short? Just exactly like a small little winter melon now. Hearing all of this now, Mel immediately launched a truly fierce Pegasus meteor fist at the swallower. In shame and anger now, so did you become even younger? What precisely happened to make you so small just now? As Mel explained calmly while swinging her fists wildly, I certainly didn't become younger. With that firmly said, Mel's powerful punches became even more fierce indeed. To completely prevent humans from looking down on me at all, I bravely display my very second form always, and what clearly appears before your very eyes now is my first form. The poor swallower, beaten completely black and blue badly, suddenly understood fully. So this then is clearly your true form now. At this particular time, Mel asked rather in confusion still, what happened really to your poor face now? Did you sneakily go out to eat midnight snacks alone without calling, and perhaps got your comeuppance clearly this morning here? The swallower immediately felt enormous pressure then. However did I sadly end up with such a stupid teammate really? Meanwhile, safely outside the Earl's grand mansion in Hastings now, the Third Eye LED troops marched to this very location now, forcibly seizing indeed the assault rights to the dungeon's core primordial. According to regulations, B rank and above dungeon must fully obtain consent from the lord of the territory governor. But now, the royal family had directly issued a harsh decree, stripping Duke Fuddle right away of absolutely all right, and sadly he had no real power to easily refuse now. However, Fuddle had just no confidence in this assault team, because simply he had never heard of Nighthalam's true name. What exactly was the royal family fully planning? If they truly angered the controller of the core primordial, Hastings would surely face a truly catastrophic disaster. This situation will be unbearable for absolutely anyone. He had to prepare a backup true plan just in urgent case. At this exact time, Fuddle suddenly remembered Mage Tower nearby. Recently, through large amounts of magic stones of origin unknown, their true strength had improved very rapidly indeed. Although
Having them challenge the primordial core was absolutely quite impossible. What if all the wild rumors were possibly true? If indeed the gatekeeper was utterly defeated, then the only monster left within the primordial core would be the swallower alone. So Fiddle hesitated simply no more at all, and immediately drafted an agreement right in his own name. As truly long as the Mage Tower conquered the core, he could yield half of Hastings' territorial ownership rights completely. Meanwhile, the swallower and the miniaturized Mel instead were diligently searching the streets for the spatial hub device. Still, in front of a very large gate, the swallower stopped quickly and asked a soldier just where the spatial hub device truly was. The soldier simply said to just keep walking straight inside them. This is simply the outermost layer of the vast imperial capital indeed. You just need to cross 3 more separate cities to get there though. Hearing this now, the swallower asked once more about how long that might take. After pondering deeply in his very mind, the soldier quickly replied, on foot. It would precisely take about 1 full week. As very soon as he finished now speaking, both Mel and the swallower's mouths simply dropped open wide. The swallower was even more truly panicked beyond all compare. Just forget completely about finding Renee right now. By this time surely the skeleton would have run home already with his sword. At that moment, Mel whispered softly, how about if we secretly use some flight magic to fly over there quickly? Hearing this idea, the swallower whispered back softly, if we were to use magic for such an extended time, we'll surely be captured by the humans as monsters instead. Just then suddenly a balding old man came over to interrupt their talk. You seem to have surely encountered some kind of trouble there. I can certainly help you. Allow me to introduce myself first now. I'm a coachman belonging directly to the Heaven organization here, and directly behind me is an alchemical creation right here, the impressive 4th generation Heaven transportation device. You see, although this is quite an obsolete model indeed, don't underestimate this at all. It only truly takes 3 hours, at most certainly 4 hours, to reach the vibrant central district area. So, just how much does it cost exactly? Hearing all this now, the old man then said happily, for first-time riders like yourself, I'll happily give you a huge discount now. Only 8 gold coins, just 8 gold coins altogether. That truly was equivalent to 800 silver coins total. Last night's lodging, however, only cost 8 silver coins alone. This was exactly 100 times more expensive than just accommodation. Helplessly, the swallower then began frantically searching his pockets fast. Suddenly, he distinctly heard a crisp sound somewhere, taking it completely out to look now. This was precisely the letter that the skeleton had left for the swallower direct. One day, you'll thank me, boss, it said, along with shining gold coins resting beneath the envelope too. Then the two embarked onward on their journey to the central district indeed. But, quite upon arrival, they were bluntly told they couldn't use the spatial hub device presently. A man spoke and said apologetically to them, I'm terribly sorry, sir, but to ensure the auction house's safety here, please kindly come back again to ride at 8 o'clock tonight instead. If you're indeed interested in the auction house, you can also participate there to simply pass the time quickly, because there's also a very precious special item there too, a weapon that's fully one of the 36 masterpieces created. Looking at the picture here, the swallower felt it looked quite familiar. Isn't this indeed the very weapon Renee uses? Let me ask then, is this weapon truly curved, and can it transform into a large blade with a swift swish? However, the swallower actually knew this very well indeed, that there was truly only one weapon with such a peculiar appearance in the world. This weapon was indeed Renee's special weapon. But why ever would it appear in human hands here? You have to know then, that even the controllers indeed of the 6th grade demon king castles were truly no match for the mighty Renee. She was widely known indeed as the fearsome bloody queen. Her great power is so immense that even I dare not provoke her lightly ever. At this very moment, the swallower immediately remembered that when Renee left them, she had indeed left without even taking her weapon. Even without a weapon, the skeleton was still a peerless existence even now, but truly without her weapon now, Renee was rather like a human who had lost both their hands and feet. Thinking of this now, the swallower's magic power began to truly go berserk now, and even Mel felt indeed that bone-chilling killing intent. At this very moment, a terrible thought cycled through the swallower's mind now. Renee might have died miserably at the hands of mere human. Weak humans actually dare to kill someone that I cherish so dearly. I will surely make you pay a painful price indeed. At this time, the swallower's pupils suddenly contracted deeply, and the bone-chilling killing intent materialized now vividly, and instantly filled the entire room completely. The swallower stepped forward with the intent to destroy this very world, and in an instant, black magic power drilled right into the man's head, accompanied by truly anguished wails of pain. The man's insides were torn to shreds, and he died right on the spot here. At this moment, the swallower had completely lost all his rationality, with only one final thought remaining in his shattered mind now, to completely flatten this entire continent right now. Let everyone accompany Renee to her cold, lonely grave. Even though Mel desperately tugged at the swallower's clothing firmly,
and wanted to stop him from committing such brutal killings now. All she got in return was just his gaze filled with pure killing intent alone. Hundreds of eerie eyes stared fixedly now at Mel, as if just one wrong word said from her now would result in her immediate and certain death now. Tell me now. Is there really only one guillotine Fong in this entire world at this moment? Although Mel truly was very afraid indeed, she still spoke the absolute truth now. As far as I know now, there's only but one in this whole world. Hearing all of this, the magic power on the swallower's tense face became even more violent. He flung away Mel's delicate hand saying, "Thank you kindly for your past help these days, but I no longer need you, for I already know exactly how to get to Hastings now. Now I'm immediately going to retrieve my dear companion's cherished weapon. You can simply leave now." With that being said, the violent aura swirling around the swallower rose again so fiercely. "You genuinely better leave here so quickly now," because he knew now very well that when he lost all of his rationality, the entire great empire would be left absolutely barren in ruin. Mel anxiously called directly out to the swallower now. "The companion you're currently looking for, is it a silver-haired, petite girl, who is also notably known as..." The very moment Renee's true title was spoken right from Mel's mouth, "Bloody Queen now." The swallower could simply no longer maintain his human form really at this moment. Even though Mel was indeed trembling with mounting fear, she courageously continued on. "From your strong reaction, I must be right at this certain time, then." The swallower forcibly suppressed the dark killing intent deep in his heart just then. "Shut up right now. Don't make such wild guesses, or don't even blame me for showing absolutely no mercy." At this very moment, Mel became even more truly certain of her correct guess, although still clearly somewhat afraid deep down inside. "Even if you speak to me in that truly terrifying tone of voice, I won't be scared now, and I actually already know your real true identity. Miss Renee is surely the gatekeeper of the dungeon's primordial core, right? So obviously someone who would quickly call Miss Renee their companion simply must be the controller of this primordial core instead." Master Swallow heard this bold claim now. The swallower's heart truly shook then, and that terrifying dark killing intent completely dissipated then and there. At this moment, he helplessly and finally admitted, "Yes, I am indeed the swallow, your Master Swallow's capable subordinate now." At this very moment, Mel said quite proudly, "See now, how clearly I guessed everything here. Praise me now, please praise me indeed." The heartfelt words that were on the tip of his tongue suddenly stopped right there. "I hereby take back my previous statement now. You're not a very reliable and powerful companion at all. You're just a dim-witted fool really, and I won't easily abandon my true friend. I truly have to find her and avenge her now. You wanted to send me away simply because you were worried I'd get deeply hurt. Don't you worry, I will definitely help you solve this problem now." The swallower looked intently at Mel in complete disbelief. How could a dignified demon king act quite so rashly in her own logic? Hearing all this, Mel said quite proudly that only simple humans need to think about such complex problems now. "As the mighty demon king, every single word I speak will surely become pure truth. What kind of demon king is even this real? So Mr. Dove, please don't show that terrible, frightening expression from before. Those strange tentacles emerging unexpectedly from behind you were truly too frightening indeed. But I'm so very glad you've returned to normal now. From now on, I'll stay with you always and forever. Please don't worry, and promise me not to ever speak." With that kind of expression and haunting voice from before, the tense scene shifted after she disguised herself quite well. Mel, now in her captivating mature form, brought the swallower toward the auction house entrance now. "Young man, I'm here today to participate in the auction. Where exactly do I enter this place?" The guard had truly never seen such beauty, and stammered in reply that, "This surely is the auction house entrance right here. Just provide all your names for quick verification now. I'm Meyer from the Agria family, and he's simply my attendant, duh." But the guard meticulously searched through the whole list 3 times, and still couldn't seem to find their specific name. He said quite apologetically to them, "I'm very sorry, you're just not on today's invitation list." But then, the very next second, the swallower's truly huge fist smashed right into the guard's face hard. "Now we're certainly on the invitation list at this moment, right?" The swallower looked upon Mel with sheer disgust now. "So, couldn't you change your appearance a bit? We are actually here to cause some real trouble, not to actually properly attend an auction event." Meanwhile, back in Trite Castle now, one of the 7 great dungeon castles indeed, Renee collapsed on the bed, tears streaming right down her face, her pupils completely devoid of focus and all emotion, constantly murmuring, "I'll never return to the primordial core ever again." But memories of the past kept replaying again in Renee's very mind. That was the fateful day she first truly met the swallower. Raging flames devoured the entire graphite forest completely. Greedy humans had burned down the graphite domain. The lord of this forest
in order to mine magic crystals deep underground indeed. Even though the swallower rushed there just as quickly as possible, after receiving the sad news, it was still far too late now. He could only slaughter all culprits who had set the forest ablaze then, as a memorial to all of the life that had died in this forest. It was then that the swallower discovered a white-haired girl alone, locked away now in a cage by cruel humans. She was a non-carbon-based life form, alchemically created by them. From the very day she was created anew, she became just a test subject for shameless humans indeed. Day after day of cruel torture had shattered the young girl's spirit completely. The swallower stood hesitant before the cage now. Should I kill her here to avoid witnesses later on? But the girl before him seemed to remind the swallower of his dark past. Then he broke open the very cage that had imprisoned her for decades. From this moment onward, you are finally free. You will have the true ability to make your own choices now. This monster-like man standing before her ignited the flame of hope that had long been distinguished deep now in the girl's heart. As the swallow departed indeed into the dark black night, only then did the young girl dare to carefully stand up still, and step out freely from the cage that had confined her so long. At this moment now, she still simply couldn't believe that she had gained freedom just like that, no longer having it all to endure such painful torment, until she saw the enormous light falling from the ceiling high. Emotions now that had been dormant for so long stirred within this moment, and fresh tears flowed freely from the corners of her eyes then. The timeline returned now to the present day. Feeling quite troubled, Renee sat quietly on a cold stone. At this time now a woman in dark black cloak called out her name clearly. The Empire now had already sent a full assault team to the primordial core, but Renee stubbornly and strongly refused still. No matter now how much you may try to persuade me, I will surely not return to the primordial core at all. The woman slowly began to walk toward Renee now. I'm simply not here just to persuade you to go back. What I hope for more now is your own true happiness. I truly hope you can gain real freedom and your own choices. But think carefully about it when they discover you're missing now. They will definitely search the whole entire continent for you surely. If they find out you've been deceived or terribly bullied by humans too, never mind exactly what the swallower might happen to do now. What exactly do you think Patrick would do then? If you truly sincerely want to live in seclusion from now on here, then you should permanently completely erase all traces of yourself now. You really don't need to be so very heartless there. Trust in that usually unreliable skeleton Patrick often. He'll handle absolutely everything if you wish to solve these problems now. Now truly would be the very best hearing this indeed. Renee then fell deeply into quite a thoughtful thought, gripping onto her own clothes quite tightly now. Then suddenly she instantly stood right up there. I want to go for a short walk now. Do you truly not need me to accompany you there? You seem to look a bit awful unwell right now, Maid. I'm actually very well. Thank you so much for your kind concern too. Do you possibly know exactly where I put my blade now? Meanwhile, the swallower pressed the auction house manager hard, firmly against the wall. I'll ask you just one more time here. Where exactly did Guillotine Fawn truly come from then? It was given to me by the Mage Tower wizards in Hastings. You see, I really and truly don't know anything else at all. So Renee must surely be in Hastings then indeed. The Mage Tower. Don't you worry your head now. I'll spare you just as agreed. Watching them gradually walk away then, the blonde guard finally dared to curse quietly then. I'm just a small guard. What did I do to deserve this harsh treatment now? I definitely need now to talk to my boss about quitting soon. But the next second, the swallower instantly appeared before the man. Yes, you certainly didn't do anything particularly wrong per se, but your only mistake was appearing before me today, when you attack my own territory here. Do you call this cruel behavior slaughter or perhaps sport theft? Do you even feel guilty about stepping on a tiny ant? No. You don't truly feel guilty at all. That's exactly the key reason why I'm just the same here. Because we happen to be mortal enemies in this life. At this moment here, the room was filled with anguished piercing screams. Meanwhile now, the auction had swiftly reached its climax point, with everyone truly going crazy over those 36 masterpieces here. Even Yuan, yes the captain of the Empire's strongest Black Wolf Knight, participated fully in this intense competition now. Just at the very moment the auctioneer there was about to finally make the final decision on weapon ownership, a dark black magic power silently appeared just behind him then. In the next second, dark black tentacles pierced right through his body. The sudden bone-chilling killing intent here shocked all of the Black Wolf Knights quite tremendously now. Such enormous, strong magic power could actually easily conceal itself from their very senses, and silently infiltrate the auction house room. At this present time, the swallower was surrounded by strong, terrifying killing intent, his tremendous magic power fully suppressing everyone right here present, so they couldn't move there. Who can tell me, where is Guillotine Fong really? One among the 36 masterpieces here is. Right at this exact moment, the swallower stood proudly above all the crowd, his powerful intense pressure intimidating Yuan quite intensely, so she dared not make any rash move at all then. But indeed, a hero's duty is simply to protect the people, even suppressing survival instincts to rekindle true determination. Just as she was about to bravely step forward, and fiercely
fiercely fight the swallower perhaps to the death. Garo desperately grabbed tightly her sleeve. Now, don't go, you'll surely die. Us had honestly never seen her so panic-stricken like that, only because of the terrifying magic power emanating strongly from the man right before them had completely exceeded Garo's own comprehension. Truly, the tremendous magic power was as deep and bottomless still as the ocean. The swallower looked coldly right at the frightened crowd there, then walked quite straight to the weapon. Indeed, at first, he wasn't entirely certain yet, but at this crucial moment now, the powerful aura clinging to the weapon that wouldn't fade was, indeed, clearly from the maid Renee herself. This meant Renee might really have died at human hands then, but the people present seemed quite not to understand the true situation. The man sought his quite expensive weapon about to be taken by a strange man, and angrily called out now for guard. Why don't you quickly arrest this thief here? Little did he truly know this action enraged the swallower. Very good indeed. That's exactly what I was thinking actually. With that now said, a terrifying killing intent shot skyward fast, and tremendous magic power transformed right into blade, attacking the entire crowd. But just then indeed, a figure flashed quickly through the crowd here. The swallower sensed a truly powerful magic force approaching it. He saw Ins, wielding a formidable icy iron fist. Do you really think you can harm them? Accompanied by the sharp sound now of cutting through the air, Ins, rapidly descended quickly. The swift attack was easily dodged by the quick swallower, unable now to dwell on her shock. Yuan quickly retreated swiftly to a safe distance. At this very moment, she was very clear now that one wrong step would cost her life. However, the swallower had already seen right through her weakness. As long as he shattered those icy gauntlets now, she truly would be just an ordinary human then. But even while the swallower was quickly thinking, powerful magic began to gather right in Yuan's fist here, and the fierce magical pressure even made the air crackle. Now, I don't care now what kind of monster you really are or your origin. Daring to cause trouble on the Grand Empire's territory, I'll most certainly make sure you never ever return again. With that said aloud, the pressure-filled punch instantly struck Nat. The swallower quickly reached out his hand to block it all, but the very moment they made hard contact Nat, the swallower immediately sensed real incoming trouble now. The sheer power of this punch exceeded all of his imagination. In his current human form, he simply couldn't block this fierce strike. In one violent explosion soon, the swallower was heavily embedded into a 10-meter thick wall hard. At this very moment, Yuan's muscles bulged all over her own body now, and that sturdy weapon right in her hand began to crack inch by inch thick, completely unable now to withstand this fierce, powerful strike. Just before Yuan could truly celebrate victory, black magic power started surge intensely from all the smoke. The shocking scene before her caused tremendous shock deep in Yuan's heart now. This strike was her single strongest attack. Truly, most average dungeon bosses would be completely annihilated by this strike instantly, not even really leaving a trace of dust at all. But this man before her had only lost a single arm here, and under the continuous reinforcement of intense black magic power now, the completely damaged arm began to continuously recover quickly. At just this moment, Yuan felt extremely regretful, quite deeply, thinking there would truly be no real danger within the Empire at all. She had only brought a replica of the Apocalypse Gauntlet, which really should have been able to withstand it most clearly. 3 such powerfully intense attacks definitely, but now they were fully completely destroyed after just this one attack here. At this precise time, Yuan's determined one truly important thing quickly. The potential danger level of the man before her truly had already far exceeded that of ordinary dungeon bosses ever. We haven't even figured out his most basic abilities at this moment here. The swallower's dry lips curved into a truly mocking laugh right now, that echoed ominously throughout the room quickly. I sincerely apologize to you always. You're truly the very first person who could push me to this extent now. But unfortunately, the very pleasant game time here is truly over now. The next second, the swallower quickly transformed into a dark black shadow indeed, and ferociously pounced directly toward the hero there. Yuan's was so very frightened at this intense moment that she just couldn't move now. Am I truly going to die here just then at all? A shout from quite the distance suddenly awakened her then. Hold on Yuan's now. I'm swiftly coming now. Garo quickly tore open the ancient scroll in her hand now. In an instant, explosive and powerful lightning gathered rapidly in her hand here. Only the deafening sound of fierce thunder that shook all heaven and earth could be heard there. Then everything quickly returned to almost total calm now. The once noble and gorgeous auction house suddenly became dilapidated indeed, leaving only the fading figures of the swallower and Mel behind here. Mel asked now with deep concern, is your right hand really okay after all? Don't worry Mel, I could easily do 1000 push UPS right now here without any problem. But what truly surprised me was indeed that the attack just now shouldn't have ever been within mere human capabilities at all. If it had hit my vital heart, the grave consequences would have been unimaginable now. My human form would be quite instantly destroyed right away, revealing my true form now with a powerful bang. If Patrick only knew about all this, I'd definitely get a very thorough scolding. Just thinking of this indeed. The swallower really couldn't help but shiver then.
But what concerned him more greatly was that, while he was quite busy dealing with the blue-haired woman now, and got rather distracted completely, that clever woman not only transferred all the humans to safety, but at the most critical moment now, simultaneously cast some defensive magic and teleportation magic on both himself and the blue-haired woman too. I haven't felt this quite excited in such a long time now. I do hope the next time we meet, you can still surprise me greatly. Accompanied suddenly by a rather violent impact, Yoons fell hard onto the busy street. The powerful impact there even creating a rather large crater truly. Everyone quickly and so carefully helped her up then, but terrible wounds all over her body made even the slightest movement extremely painful. So suddenly, a familiar voice then rang clearly in her ear. It was Garo, her face now showing the joy of barely surviving a terrible disaster. Thank goodness, Garo, you're here. You really made it out alive too, then. So shouldn't you thank me a bit more properly now? If I had been even just one single step late, I would already be on my solemn way to a funeral. Just as Eunice was about to deeply express her honest gratitude, she suddenly stopped, tears uncontrollably flowing straight from her very eye, because blood had clearly soaked through almost half of Garo's entire sleeve now. At this very moment, her entire right arm was completely sadly gone. Don't make such a tremendously big fuss over this. I'm clearly not dead here at this very moment. Ewan simply could no longer fully hold back those tears streaming right down as she kept continuously apologizing deeply to Garo. I am so very sorry, I'm just so incredibly sorry for this. If it truly weren't for me just then earlier, Garo shouted quite sternly, pull yourself completely together now. As the Empire's famed hero, do you really want people laughing at you simply for crying? Losing just one single arm simply means we've made a tremendously huge profit here. Do you even know exactly who our powerful opponent actually was? He truly was the controller of the primordial core itself. The Swallower, hearing all of this now, Yuan's own heart shook violently then. She said in clear disbelief, how is that even possible? Why would he even leave the dungeon and come out here? Although I don't know the reason why, one single thing is certain, he is the dungeon's final boss. The Swallower, the shoes on his feet are relics of the late hero, Burn, filled completely with his powerful magic power. This, therefore, means the situation has reached an irreversible point now, potentially even leading to the Empire's utter destruction. Hearing this grave news, Yuan said anxiously that, if he really truly is the Swallower, then we should go and stop him, even more so now. Besides, on human territory like this, we actually have an absolute home advantage, too. Seeing Yuan's growing panic, becoming increasingly panicked, Garo firmly grabbed her trembling shoulders tight. Calm down, now. This isn't something we can solve entirely alone. We have absolutely no true chance of winning right now. We urgently need to request aid now from the Dungeon Alliance headquarters, and also report this dire news to the royal family quickly. I'll go alone. What you need to do now is heal your wound, and fully recover to your optimal condition quickly. After casting swift healing magic on young Yuan, Garo took to the skies alone to report to the Empire now. Meanwhile, the Swallower had truly been thinking all night at the auction house. Should he go eliminate those two dangerous individuals now, or instead head straight to Hastings to find Renee immediately? Mel carefully watched the Swallower pacing in circles, wondering if truly he had developed a split personality disorder. At this exact moment, the Swallower also made his final decision. First, I must find Renee. At least locate her remains now. Then he called for Mel to leave this very place, but Mel stopped him there with a worried expression that he immediately saw something was truly wrong with Mel now. After holding it all inside for 2.5 minutes, Mel still couldn't quite say what was bothering her so, until finally, she truly couldn't hold back anymore now. Who the hell are you anyway in truth? But the deeper reason was, actually because she fully discovered the Swallower was getting stronger now, and stronger, even exceeding all of her own expectations even. Mel understood Renee's really powerful combat abilities very well indeed, but the Swallower now seemed even stronger in power than Renee truly. She desperately wanted to get this key answer from the Swallower's mouth directly, to hear that very name that haunted her dreams always, but the Swallower simply gave her a gentle flick on her forehead. So you made me really worry so much over this little mere thing? I will always truly be your Mr. Dove here, whether in the distant past or future time. I am who I truly am, and I shall never truly change at all. I'll even make a serious promise with only you now. When absolutely everything settles right down, I will tell you the whole entire truth then. Hearing this promise, Mel nodded happily now. Then and there, the Swallower then said, now, let all those mere insects see just how formidable you really are. In the very next second, Mel transformed fully into Demon King Mel, the Demon King who struck intense terror into the hearts of humans. Pure black magic unleashed. The raw power shot skyward directly from the center of the imperial capital. In an instant, almost half the imperial capital was utterly reduced to rubble. Heartbreaking wails echoed throughout all of the street. At this dark moment,
Eunice looked at everything before her in pure disbelief. The violent explosion was coming directly from the auction house's direction. They had actually committed such inhumane acts right here in the capital. Just as she was about to get up now and head to the auction site, Garrow's distinct voice echoed clearly in her mind, telling her explicitly to wait right here for her sure return. Deep self-blame. Pure hatred now. Helplessness, plus the damn survival instinct instantly overwhelmed her senses. However, right at that crucial moment, a small pair of gentle hands grasped firmly onto hers. Now, sister, do you know precisely where Daddy actually went? Yuan clenched her small fist very tightly, then shouted loudly, immediately drawing everyone's divided attention. Everyone, please don't worry now. I will resolve all of this, truly, because I am this empire's hero. Yuan's time has come now. I will definitely defeat that vile monster now. Right at this time, Niflheim had already led his brave troops to the primordial core now. But as soon as he stepped inside this place, he immediately sensed that something was indeed wrong now. Unlike Room 1, which was littered all over with corpses, this ominous place was completely empty now. Clean indeed, as if someone had deliberately cleared this all. Not just him, everyone present felt extremely uneasy, as far as they all knew. The heroic team led by Byrne had absolutely no habit of cleaning up any monster corpses. Soon, Niflheim thought hard about the monster. He immediately turned around quickly and shouted sternly there, "Stop with your boring, tiresome tricks, you damn monster now. Come out now." As soon as those words left his angered mouth here, a sinister pair of crimson eyes slowly emerged right from the shadows in the distance now. How truly heartbreaking. I cleared the obstacles for you all, yet you still insult me now seeing this? Niflheim then quickly ordered the mages to cast illumination spells now. As the glowing light orb rose high into the air now, Skeleton King Patrick sat proudly atop a stone block there. Welcome now all to the primordial core here. At this intense moment Niflheim's heart was already in turmoil. He was now less than 10 meters from the skeleton, yet still couldn't sense any aura from the figure. More importantly, all plans carefully prepared had now come completely to naught. No one had anticipated that the Skeleton King who was supposed to be guarding the left passage certainly, would now suddenly appear on the right instead. Faced with this sudden shocking change now, Niflheim swiftly decided to strike first at once. In an instant a flash of bright blade light passed quickly by. There was only a loud bang sound. But that swift strike couldn't break through Patrick's strong defense. Really now then? Can't you at least let me catch my own breath? As soon as he actually finished speaking loud, a truly massive wave suddenly turned to solid ice. Icy crystals appeared behind Niflheim right then. Both figures, engulfed instantly now in the ice. Swift, and bone-chilling cold indeed. Sword shadows forced the skeleton to retreat step by step back. As the truly final attack arrived at last, Patrick's great sword was knocked away far behind it. This, indeed, completely exceeded his own expectation. It seems perhaps he's not an ordinary human at all. When he looked again, countless magic circles surrounded Niflheim there. At this crucial moment, Niflheim had reached his strongest state ever in life. Time now to say goodbye, Skeleton King Patrick, for good. The Skeleton King instantly understood his own true intention. By drastically increasing his strength and sheer speed now, he would deliver a fatal final blow surely. But this act came with a truly extreme cost now. It, tragically, could only last 10 short seconds at most. But then, the very next second, weakness swept through Patrick's entire body. And soon, helplessly, he collapsed hard to the ground right there. Niflheim stepped hard on his very back then. Say that again now. Who did you say you were going to send back home? Unexpectedly now, Patrick's head rotated a full 360 degrees. I never truly thought I'd be cornered so by magic. I should have eliminated that pesky mage first indeed. Without him, you're truly all nothing at all. At these very words, Niflheim instantly flew into a great rage, stomping Patrick hard down into the very dirt now. Then, with fury, he raised his sword high. Die monster now! But in the very next second here, Patrick then extended his right hand and easily caught that sword, laughing now uncontrollably. Sorry for this. I really just couldn't hold it all in now. I've truly been so bored these past few years here. I was putting on quite the performance to match your low level. Alright then, I've surely had enough real fun. As soon as he completely finished speaking now, there was a sudden cry of great anguish, and all humans except Niflheim were instantly killed then. At this very moment, he was so frightened, he collapsed to the ground. So far, among all the people who have seen me Patrick like this, not a single living one has ever left indeed. It seems you only have a superficial understanding of me, from books alone, and you don't truly know my real power at all. Then Patrick forcefully threw the green-haired man right in front of Niflheim. He truly was the only one here with some skill. Didn't quite expect he knew a bit about holy magic at all. I'm still itching quite badly from it now. Niflheim, that is your real name, right? He kept calling out your true name even as he died painful. With that, Patrick began mimicking the green-haired man's dying tone, repeatedly shouting Niflheim face to face, with Patrick's own face. Humiliation and utter mockery indeed. Niflheim responded with an international friendly gesture now. The next second, Patrick raised the sharp sword in his very hand, and pierced it straight through Nibelheim's whole body. Only after Patrick had truly gone far, far away now, did Nibelheim dare to slowly open his pained eye. How could I possibly truly die here? Looking at his fallen companions' corpses lying in large pools of blood, Nibelheim slowly lowered his broken head, then opened his own bloody maw widely. Instantly now, the empty room was filled with loud chewing sound. What he didn't truly know was that Patrick had witnessed everything secretly. Meanwhile, back in the Empire's capital city, Yas had become quite dilapidated under the devastating power of Mel's magic. Her rank magic indeed. Suddenly, an 82-year-old foot kicked straight through the rubble loudly. At this moment truly, Swallower's own heart was already in terrible turmoil. Mel, please explain to me just what's going on right here.
This is magic tremor I used. A type of super S-rank magic that can cause the whole Earth to completely collapse. It's specifically designed to fully damage human buildings and also alter terrain drastically. Much more comfortable now, right? Isn't it so?
Swallower helplessly but softly said.
Couldn't you possibly have made it a bit smaller perhaps? But didn't you just tell me to act cooler anyway?
Mr. Dove, so I then used what I thought was the very coolest magic move. Hearing these words, Swallower could only helplessly wave his long sleeve.
My own fault for not explaining everything clearly to you. But then suddenly his serious expression greatly grew quickly. Countless powerful auras are now rapidly approaching this very place quickly,
including some foes who could easily defeat Mel herself.
For Mel's own safety, Swallower thoughtfully devised a way to send her away now. Do you remember quite well the way to the Central District, Mel?
Yes, of course I clearly remember it.
So, you want me to precisely guard that place then?
With such an incredibly violent explosion occurring here,
humans will definitely rush there right away.
I need your help to ensure the safety of the spatial hub device too.
Once I finish quickly dealing with things here, we can immediately head to Hastings now to find Renee.
But right now, Mel was simply confused here.
You keep mentioning Hastings, but where exactly is this place now?
Hearing this, Swallower nearly stumbled then.
You at least know where the primordial core is, right?
Hearing this question, Mel said quite confidently. Of course I do, it's my most admired dungeon ever.
At this point right here, Swallower directly interrupted her quickly. Hastings is simply the village closest to the primordial core ever. Hearing this now, Mel immediately lowered her head quite pitiful.
Well, I've only ever read about that place in books real.
It's fine now, I do know the way here. You should hurry now to the Central District soon.
Before Mel left, she reminded him now with concern.
If there are far too many enemies there, come back immediately now. I'll activate the formation then at the first opportunity. However, just then as Mel was about to leave, urgent footsteps indeed could be heard in the distance. Dense crowds of figures instantly occupied the entire vast street.
They were indeed the dungeon assault team now.
Blue Crane from the Lang family here.
One of the Empire's esteemed 9 great families now. The team leader shouted out sternly. I am Assault Team Captain Capel, you see. Who are you all to dare cause such destruction in the Imperial capital?
Swallower looked now coldly at them all. He couldn't quite understand just why. Humans always like to introduce themselves before even fighting. Looking at this very group's uniform attire here,
Swallower guessed they must belong to some leader's command maid. But none of it truly mattered, because to him now, there was no need at all to remember those about to die there,
whether in the distant past or near future too. We have only but one designation now,
and that is as mortal enemies indeed. As Swallower casually uttered these 2 strong words instantly here,
tremendous magical powers surged fiercely skyward then Swallower's very body transformed into terrifying fangs quite quickly, and some horrifying eyes in just an instant really. Everyone was fully engulfed in scorching flames quite certainly with no survivor. The somewhat belated hero Yuan's even felt the raging fire beneath her feet there. Swallower looked quite coldly at Yuan's form. Are you also here indeed to die? Of course not now. I'm really here to stop you, Swallower anyway.
Because I am Yuan's, the hero here.
I certainly didn't ask who you are right now.
Although your fierce spirit is indeed impressive clearly,
you alone truly cannot defeat me yet.
With that strong, Yuan swung her iron fist fiercely again then, her determined gaze rising higher along with her gathering magical power too. Today truly will be your burial ground, Swallower. The explosive strike actually pierced right through Swallower's human form, and the collision of flesh and blood produced fully 10 meters of fist energy. But when the mist cleared slowly, Yun's full-powered strike was easily blocked indeed, not even causing Swallower the smallest harm. Swallower gripped her fist very tightly then pulled her so close to his very own body. I'm sorry, truly, but I won't be careless like before.
The same old technique is useless against me now.
This here was Eunice's first time in such close contact with Swallower.
Intense and true fear swept through her entire very body, and pure survival instinct urgently drove her body to flee now. But the next second Yuan was violently thrown to the hard ground.
The tremendous and terrible force seemed to crush her internal organ, and blood gushed from the corner of her trembling mouth. But at this crucial moment, Eunice had only one thought here. Have I bought quite enough time as a true hero? I really must fulfill my duty very very soon. Eunice completely lost all her fighting abilities sadly, but Swallower truly felt somewhat surprised here. No creature has ever been able to maintain clear consciousness
under such immense force now. Not even the demon kings from the other 7 great dungeons there. Yuin's kept murmuring, I am the Empire's hero now. Yuin's, I absolutely cannot fall like this here. I will never let you harm any citizen of the whole Empire. With that said, tremendous magical power rose fiercely behind Yuin. At this very moment, dazzling light burst forth from her right hand. This was indeed Hero Yun's final, desperate punch now, condensing the very remainder of her precious life force. But just as it was about to actually touch Swallower, the magical power suddenly completely dissipated right there. Although this very punch caused essentially no damage, it made Swallower truly remember this stubborn girl's strong name. You are truly an admirable warrior, Yuan. I will definitely always remember your given name, though I do not know exactly for how very long. For a significantly full 1,000 years now. This is genuinely the first time someone has moved me deeply in battle. I will indeed let you die without pain here. Just then, a truly powerful air blade struck Swallower's nape neck. It was precisely this crucial moment of distraction that allowed the quickly arriving reinforcements to successfully rescue you all. This immediately filled Swallower with intense fury now. Why do you pesky humans always like to come one by one, right at this particular time then? An apology came from the crowd indeed. We're truly very sorry for using somewhat underhanded methods to save you, whine. Please now forgive our transgression, please. You attacked the actual back of my head directly. Do you truly think I'll let you go now? We're very, very sorry, Master Swallow, we are. Though this formal introduction is indeed somewhat late now. I am Adele Bria, commander here of the valiant Black Wolf Knight. At this very time, Renee had already returned to the Grand Magic Tower. She fully wanted to reclaim everything she had lost right here. Not only did she wish to retrieve her lost weapon, but she also fully wanted to make the tower's deceitful master pay for deceiving her so. At that very moment, Renee emanated a truly cold aura now. The chattering gatekeeper directly before her made her increasingly irritated so. Upon learning she simply couldn't enter the magic tower now, Renee then revealed the cold blade right in her hand. When she reappeared again quickly, she had instantly moved behind the guard there and split him in two clean. Actually indeed, from the very beginning then, Renee had truly thought that human magic towers were similar to dungeons made, composed of humans. Surely to reach the tower's absolute peak, she just needed to notify the top floor just like humans do now. Right at this moment Renee appeared exactly like Satan himself, descending now right in everyone's horrified eyes there. Wherever her deadly blade simply passed by, absolutely nothing survived in just a single swift encounter that. They were all mercilessly slain by Renee's sharp blade indeed. However, as soon as Renee swiftly reached the very top floor, she unexpectedly encountered Amir there directly. The terrifying raw power Renee displayed confirmed her long-held suspicion now. She's definitively not human at all at this dark moment. Renee asked very coldly, where is Guillotine Fong hiding? However, she was immediately met with Amir's merciless cruel mockery. It's already entirely mine now, so why exactly should I tell you anything? But truly there's one thing that really bothers me now. Hearing this, why are you truly still alive then? Renee then raised her blade, ready now to strike. But this brave action was met again with Amir's merciless laugh. Someone actually wants to use scrap metal against the magic tower. Master's magic, and then a barrier rose suddenly before her eye. Don't you even know? A blade without any attributes at all is truly useless against magic. But in just the next second, the barrier before Amir shattered completely. The swift blade not only destroyed the magical barrier, but also whistled right past Amir in an instant. At this tense moment, Amir could no longer maintain her composure at all. No one ever has been able to shatter her strong barrier with mere iron, let alone with just a single strike like that. At this moment, a terrible suspicion arose in her troubled mind. Could this young girl actually be a monster from the primordial core? But it truly doesn't matter now. As long as I'm within the magic tower, I'm totally invincible. At the tower's very peak is a core, composed of thousands of top-rank magic stones entirely. If I gather all of the magical power here then however possible. While she was pondering, Renee had already come before her swift, swinging her sharp blade and demanding fiercely now, hand over Guillotine Fong immediately. I'm truly very sorry about this. But that precious Guillotine Fong was already sent off to the auction house. Long ago, a while then. A tremendous magical power swiftly gathered there from Amir's right hand, right onto her very staff now. A truly massive formation filled with Waya appeared above everyone's heads still. Instantly, countless red lightning bolts swarmed intensely toward Renee there, forcing her quickly back a good 10 meters indeed. I must admit, you're indeed remarkably strong. But don't you worry, no one has ever survived this exact attack before. Just at this moment, a spear called Gungnir suddenly appeared now, surrounded closely by black lightning that even heavily damaged space itself here. The very next second indeed. Countless explosive lightning bolts followed the spear quickly in swift succession. Seeing the fierce attack about to directly arrive, a flashing moment of determination crossed sharply Renee's own eyes here. Then a violent explosion fiercely erupted from the magic tower's very peak, echoing resoundingly throughout all of Hastings here. As all the smoke soon cleared then, several magical spears had sharply pierced straight through Renee's fragile body, and dark red blood quickly gushed profusely from her wounded mouth now. So I overestimated you greatly after all. Clearly only human, yet pretending to even be a monster too. At that moment, just a trace of pride flashed across Amir's face now. She was absolutely certain indeed that even ordinary dungeon bosses couldn't possibly withstand this immense magic. However, the very next moment, Amir's pupils suddenly contracted, instantly so. Agonized screams echoed loudly throughout all the room now. Her staff fell hard to the ground with a clang, as she lost both hands quite suddenly. Why this happening? You were pierced by me, yet you can still attack now? At this moment, Renee simply looked at her coldly then. Shut up now, what's the big deal about some broken arms here? If you can hand over Guillotine Fong right now, I might even spare you this moment definitely. Survival instinct reached its peak within Amir's fragile heart. She completely lost her former elegance now, crawling desperately toward the outside in a twisted posture but Renee then kicked her spine hard, breaking it, and leaving her quite unable to move anymore. At that instant, relief finally appeared in Renee's cold eye. I finally erased my very last trace now. So, where exactly should I go now then? The severe injuries sustained left Renee truly unable to hold on much longer. She leaned weakly now against the cold wall. An intense drowsiness swept right through her whole body. I'm tired, she thought, it'd be nice just to sleep exactly like this. But the very next second, an exclamation suddenly drove away Renee's drowsiness now. Quickly looking back again, the green-haired man was tightly holding the collapsed Tower Master right there, shouting aloud with worry, "Wake up please! Tower Master, how exactly are you feeling?" However, right in Renee's very eye, a cold, sinister gaze completely mismatched with his frantic tone, appeared now right on the green-haired man's face then, with a flourish, he took out a sapphire blue gem indeed. Just calm down now, Tower Master. Can you clearly see the gem right in my hand now? However, blood had sadly already blurred Amir's fading vision. She could only vaguely make out just a dim glimmer of light. Hearing only this, the green-haired man let out a truly sinister laugh. It's all right now, Tower Master. Just as long as you touch this very gem here, your injuries will completely heal at this instant, I assure. Renee's small, delicate nose wrinkled immediately then. Isn't this the very same type of gem as that crimson gem before? The eerie, dark black shadow deep within it now. She would never truly forget it in her whole lifetime indeed. That very gem was one key reason she even left the primordial core. Then the mysterious gem lightly touched Amir's pale forehead but the very next second, her pupils suddenly contracted, turning intensely red. An eerie and strange dark magical power emanated from Amir's fragile body now. Then her own body began to continuously and rapidly expand greatly. I certainly won't let you destroy this magic tower here. You've made just too many enemies out there, haven't you, Miss Renee of the primordial core then? Seeing the sly green-haired man speak her true name then, Renee's alarms immediately and loudly went off instantly, and she instantly drew her trusted weapon now. But strangely, the sly green-haired man bowed to Renee and thanked her. Thank you so much for letting me completely finish my experiment here. But what if I just simply left like this indeed? You would definitely come looking for more trouble. So, I'll surely have to ask Miss Renee to disappear as well then. With that, Amir's body began rapidly to expand and reorganize itself, until it fully became an indescribable thing. Eerie existence, the massive form was like a messenger straight from hell itself. But right at this moment, Renee stood totally motionless there. Her broken body and her ordinary weapon no longer allowed her now to defeat the opponent before her eye. More importantly, she could no longer see everything so clearly now. Facing this attacking monster before her, Renee couldn't help but sigh slightly. I should have just executed Master Swallow on the spot way back then, but this is quite fine too. This way, there are no traces of Renee left in this world perhaps. However, you cannot use your filthy hands to cover up Master Swallow's honor. Sent on me with that now. She used the last bit of strength left in her body to drive her blade quite deep into the monster now. However, Renee ultimately loosened her weak grip due to her severe injury, and was whipped away hard by the monster instead. If I die now, will Master Swallow be truly sad because of it? However, this entire poignant scene was witnessed fully by Swallow. The familiar aura, and the warm feel. Large hands immediately put Renee completely at ease now. Just like that scene 80 long years ago, when Swallower saved. At that time long ago, Renee had completely lost the true meaning of life, until that very person appeared right before her then. Master Swallow, Swallower then gently placed gentle Renee right on the soft ground. Then he called out in a low and steady voice, "Just wait right here for a moment now." Then he strode forward toward the monster that had fallen alongside Renee. So, are you truly ready to now face your death? At this very moment, Renee felt as if everything was like some dream. But the warmth of Master Swallow's hands made her sink deeply into it. After Swallower saw the truly hideous monster before it, clearly, he really had only but one true feeling. This vile thing is truly, hideously, quite ugly. Instantly, the monster was quite intimidated by this domineering punch now. Its eyes were filled with real fear and confusion about the unknown power felt. However, indeed, this one punch was just a mere appetizer. What followed next were countless spikes that Swallower unleashed in true pain. The monster roared angrily, right at Swallower then. But the louder it furiously screamed, the faster its sweet blueberry juice visibly leaked out now. Its fierce eyes were now filled with anger and killing intent towards Swallower certainly. Swallower himself was actually very displeased with this soft, weak attack. Don't tell me you actually think you can surely win? As soon as he fully finished speaking aloud, the monster was lifted high into the air by Swallower himself. Now tell me, what's 1000 minus 7 exactly? Oh, right. Sorry now, I forgot. You simply can't speak. Do you even understand good manners or not? When someone asks of you a question directly, you really should respond. Don't you truly know that much? The monster that lost all its blueberry juice now was like a sadly deflated balloon now. Even its gaze at Swallower became much clearer indeed. When its quite pleading little hand gently tried to touch Swallower lightly, Swallower sighed regretfully somewhat now. Then he said angrily, just who gave you permission to touch me with those very hands? Fucking disgusting truly. During this time indeed, Swallower squeezed blueberry juice for a full 2.5 whole minutes now. But he discovered that no matter how much he squeezed hard, this thing here would quickly recover itself full. Swallower had never quite seen such a truly shameless monster like this. Every single time it recovered and propped up its body once again, it would look intently at him with those pitiful, pleading eyes. Sorry, I simply have a flaw. I'm bad at just everything except for dealing with you, really. Hearing that pleading was entirely useless now, the strange monster immediately became truly furious indeed. Its slimy tentacles shot straight towards Swallower then. You think I don't quite know there's a magical source underground here? Without its essential magical power supply, you would have been destroyed long ago now surely. I didn't expose it only just because I wanted to punch you a few more times too. Just then now. The ground suddenly cracked and a massive abyssal maw appeared then, swallowing both the strange monster and the very magical source hole. This monster's horrible taste can only be described in one exact way, like a 3-year-old unwashed sock that sadly fell into a pickle jar indeed. After everything ended, Swallower was truly at a complete loss for words now. Sorry, Renee. I'm quite late, but after hearing all this, Renee remained seated, motionlessly still. Before this, I thought of the many things I wanted to fully say to you. When I actually saw you here, my mind went completely and totally blank. I really should have written all of it down before talking to you now. Oh, right, when I teleported right over here, I accidentally flattened a green-haired poor guy. That person shouldn't matter too much to you, right at all? After hearing all of this, Renee was completely speechless indeed. This utter fool came all this way just to tell me this thing. Swallower then immediately remembered Patrick's true word. Even if you have to truly kiss her toes, you must, with conviction, bring her right back, Renee. I came specifically to apologize for what sadly happened a few days ago. I shouldn't have ever said such harsh and mean things to you then. The primordial core not only ultimately needs you as a key gatekeeper. I truly need you to know Master Swallow did nothing wrong to me at all. It was my own selfish desires that made me do such awful things. I was just too ashamed to face you directly. Master Swallow, don't you hate me now or find me so disgusting? To this, Swallower firmly stated now. He never would, because in Swallower's loving heart, Renee will always be his dearest and most beloved family member. Then Swallower gently pulled out a big treasure from his very pocket. The moment Renee keenly saw Guillotine Fong there, she instantly knew Master Swallow already knew everything now. Instantly, little pearl-like tears couldn't help but fall all over the ground. Master Swallow, I'm really so scared now. My own life just isn't complete without you, Master Swallow dear. Swallower warmly said he felt exactly the same true way. Do you truly want me to spend every day sadly missing you and looking so worried? Please come home with me, Renee now. Everyone is truly looking forward to your quick return. Turning back now to a certain day some 80 years ago, when Swallower went out then and encountered Liliu again, he decided right then to bring her back to the primordial core directly. Patrick immediately became quite interested then, upon hearing she was actually an artificial human being. This really is the primordial core, filled with truly dark aura now, yet she stayed in the strongest boss room without any real fear. This clearly shows she has very strong mental power and resistance too. When Patrick asked directly how exactly to settle Liliu, Swallower simply said her talent was quite good, and she could even learn swordsmanship. She had also definitely been a maid, so cooking shouldn't be any problem at all. Wait just a minute there, boss. May I boldly ask just who you plan to actually have teach her all these things? Swallower then calmly pointed with his little hand there.
This very important task naturally falls directly to you now.
Patrick fell completely silent immediately upon actually hearing this now. Swallower then said he needed to sleep a total of 48 hours a day now.
Willing, but ultimately unable, Patrick reluctantly then accepted all this.
After all, this is indeed a request the boss actually made personally too. By the way now, what exactly is this child's true name? Swallower then said their first real meeting was a bit rushed though,
and he somehow remembered it was something quite like Lelewu though. Suddenly then, Patrick noticed the young girl was muttering quite quietly.
She slowly uttered these 3 words, Lulu now.
But Patrick thought it would be better for their boss to give her a true name.
After considering everything for 2.5 good minutes, Swallower gave his considered answer now.
Nothing truly suits a maid better than the sweet name Renee indeed. Patrick was just about to praise the boss's sheer talent
when you fell asleep way too fast right now. Come on now, little Renee.
You certainly need to watch my expression very carefully. For our first real lesson, we'll start by learning to smile first.
Turning back now to the present primordial core, Swallower saw a terrifying sight soon as he fully entered. Were you really doing some kind of frenzy dance outside there? The tremors from Hastings reached all the way into the primordial core indeed.
And further explain to me just what this is all about now.
Swallower said it was quite a long story though. Seeing this current scene, Patrick just couldn't help but wonder, does our own boss specifically target just Lolas here? Most importantly here, why didn't Renee come back at all? After some serious thought, Swallower revealed the full truth.
Actually, in truth, he had already found Renee in Hastings then.
Looks like the boss still got sadly rejected by Renee now. It's okay boss, please don't be too sad at all. As long as she's thankfully still alive now. That's truly the best outcome. You're absolutely right there. Perhaps indeed we've been constraining Renee's character all along now.
After hearing all this, Patrick felt something was definitely off. Why are you speaking like someone who got dumped hard? Speaking so poetically now, you almost moved this old bag of bones truly to tears. Swallower suddenly had a brilliant idea pop up.
Since Renee simply won't come back, you can be our dedicated maid instead maid. You'd better indeed think very carefully now. My resignation letter is absolutely ready anytime now really.
Without Renee here, I don't know what to do in the future truly.
Swallower was also quite helpless about this situation too.
We can only hope that someday she'll miss home and visit someday.
So for now, truly we can only take it one single step at a time. The future path ahead seems difficult now, but we certainly can't stop moving forward onward.
But Patrick had only taken mere 2 steps when he was suddenly speechless.
Boss, do get up quickly now. Stop sleeping now, she's already here you see.
Hearing these words, Swallower then immediately opened his eyes wide indeed, and looked sharply toward the cave entrance.
Have you two eaten yet? Should I go then prepare dinner for you both?
But Patrick soon immediately noticed something was indeed wrong here. Only when he turned right around to confirm could he then realize it clearly.
He hadn't really noticed this vital point before now.
He then immediately started a truly private conversation with the boss right then.
You gave her your own eyes? Are you truly still sane really? Swallower then gave a very firm answer indeed.
Actually, Swallower had always deeply felt guilty because Renee lost an eye then. For this very family indeed. Not being able to see clearly that there truly was a demon in the gem then
was quite understandable too. Patrick and I will certainly always be waiting for your true homecoming here.
So next time, look extra carefully and bring back the real love stone now. But now, to Renee, the famed love stone was certainly no longer important now. What truly mattered was that she was already fully together with Master Swallower there. Suddenly, a single drop of water falling woke Mel right up. She hadn't yet quite figured out what was even happening. When she looked up then, she saw a skeleton there.
Sharpening a blade, it said, "Hello there, little girl, I've been eagerly waiting for you to wake up now. What's going on here? I haven't even gotten married and had children too. How did I possibly die so young?"
You're clearly mistaken here.
This is the primordial core, you see, not the underworld itself. Upon hearing this then,
Mel immediately became so energetic suddenly.
Since you're certainly not the Grim Reaper, you must actually be Patrick then.
Patrick suddenly stood right up and shouted toward the back there.
Hurry up now and get out of bed. Boss, what's wrong just now? Can't you let me simply sleep peacefully here? And could you wake me up a bit more gently too?
At this very moment, Mel's young heart was filled with both true fear and real excitement too,
because this whole scene is simply far too cool.
Mel respectfully pays her respects to the overlord of the primordial core,
Master Swallow, truly standing high above all things now. When exactly did my very name become so long like that?
Just as Mel was introducing herself quite properly,
Swallower then called out Mel's name along with her own there.
Worthy indeed of Master Swallow, you even correctly guessed my name.
Actually, it was simply that Mel's self-introduction was quite so captivating.
That Swallower really couldn't possibly forget it at all, even if he tried to at this given time real.
Mel suddenly then thought of her dear teammate
I remember clearly working with him, dealing with the Empire's ant.
How did I end up here now, while he completely disappeared? I am Dove, you absolute fool really. What did you just happen to say, Master Swallow?
I said I am indeed the Dove that you mentioned earlier, the very one you beat up soundly with hundreds of punches. Hearing this said, Mel screamed loudly in absolute terror then,
unable to even imagine exactly what embarrassing things she'd done before that. By the way, boss there. About what Mel just said regarding dealing with those humans there. Shouldn't you perhaps give me a more reasonable explanation? Or should we go to that next room for a more private chat now? Regarding this urgent matter, I hope you'll let me make a few excuses first. Meanwhile, far in a corner of the GRA forest there,
a man was attracted by certain sounds while gathering more herb. The fallen person was none other than Nibelheim himself, who indeed had just escaped from the dungeon now.
Someone, please save me, I implore you.
Just as the man approached closely to check the needed herb, Nibelheim suddenly brutally attacked him,
going straight there for his very neck. You damn dungeon monster.
Just wait, no one can truly stop me from surviving this now.
Now I absolutely must get this crucial news back to the royal palace.
I'll make all of you monsters suffer a grim fate worse than true death. The man, who once was a dungeon king himself,
had sadly fallen to become his own subordinate's dog now.
All of this was due to his previous wicked evil deeds here.
Just a single bite after fully transforming had devoured half the entire city back then. Just now, two women were indeed arguing fiercely in the primordial core that
what they were fiercely fighting over was the coveted opportunity to serve
Master Swallow indeed.
I'm the truly free and independent master of a Demon King castle now. Why would I possibly care about your silly first served rules indeed? After so clearly saying this, Mel displayed her rather impressive strength and fierce determination now. Only someone like truly me can give master unexpected warmth now, while Renee in this regard is like some cutting board truly
completely flat. What exactly gives you any right to challenge me so? Hearing this sharp remark, Renee immediately flared up indeed.
In these past 80 long years, no one has dared to disrespect her like this before.
Since that's now the true case,
today will both determine pure superiority, even life and death indeed.
Seeing this fierce anger, Mel added another cruel blow now.
Look at those rather short legs of yours.
You have truly no strength and can't even reach me right now.
Patrick was also quite angry, but dared not speak now.
Patrick, their loud arguing is truly keeping me from sleeping indeed. This sharp statement directly amused the little skeleton quickly. Don't you think clearly about who's been flirting around causing this very unrest now? Looks like you haven't read the newspaper itself. I brought this today at all. There are several quite useful pieces of key information in
to defend against the looming invasion of monsters from Hastings.
Yes, has now begun large-scale troop mobilization from various regions.
Most importantly, the original Lord of Hastings indeed has committed suicide.
So Hastings may now be quite completely paralyzed then.
Patrick had scoured a full 2.5 weeks worth of newspaper and found truly only 3 pieces of information about Hastings alone.
Boss, do you actually know what this clearly means? This means there are actually only these 3 pieces of information about Hastings.
Instantly, the little skeleton then released
truly terrifying killing intent now. Don't forget, my resignation letter is ready under my hip bone still. Big brother, please calm down right now. I was totally wrong. I'll definitely speak properly now. Why don't you just tell me the conclusion directly right now? I'm actually growing and truly need sleep, the little skeleton said. Hastings might have just cut off outside communication entirely. Boss, do you even remember how severely you destroyed it back then really?
The swallower thought for a long moment, not much at all.
Patrick immediately understood the grave weight of this little bit now. Such severe destruction without any real information getting out yet
was very suspicious indeed. The primordial core surely
usually desperately needed information directly from Hastings there, because monitoring Hastings would reveal the scale of incoming threat. Adventuring parties, so the most urgent priority was to rush to Hastings post-haste, to fully understand the current tense situation overall.
Who truly knows what might happen if they further delayed matter?
Then you go there and swiftly back quickly.
I'll wait right at home for your good news, please do.
I beg you, go by yourself alone. Definitely, please don't call me then.
Along seeing Patrick then walk away without looking back either. The swallower only felt something incredible truly.
Could this odd guy actually be starting to show care for his boss?
Whatever, never truly mind him now. This special way I can sleep peacefully for a while longer soon. A truly wonderful day should naturally start with deep sleeping.
You seem just a bit uneasy about me going alone then?
In that case then, I think it's far better to have one more person truly.
As soon as he quite finished speaking now,
the swallower was swiftly dragged away by Skeleton firmly. At this moment then, his true feelings were written all over his face now. If Mel followed closely along there, her magic would surely blast that whole village to smithereens now. Forget it then, dear Master Swallow.
Can I truly accompany you, compared to Mel's sheer magic now?
The swallower felt a sudden chill down his spine now.
Just deeply thinking about his very presence now. Thinking about it quite this way.
Only Patrick and I going truly would be most reliable now.
My dear boss, please just come with me then. There's been a lot going truly on lately, and I can't handle it all alone. At this dark moment then, the swallower had fallen straight into the skeleton's little trap now. Any struggle now seemed pale and truly powerless indeed.
Suddenly, the swallower thought of one decisive true factor now.
Patrick, I really, truly want to go with you now. But unfortunately, that very bracelet from last time is already broken you see, so I simply can't use transformation magic anymore at all. What should I even do? The boss is entirely right. Without this bracelet, we really just can't go, can we now? Right, you should know my heart is extremely, utterly sad right now. Like the deep pain of parting from someone beloved too. But the very next moment, suddenly transforming into real human form, the swallower then said, Patrick, you really won't ever die, will you? Even should I go to the underworld itself, I'll surely drag you along too, very regrettably, boss. Even though you're cursing me rather so hard now, I'm already effectively dead. Also, you said it yourself, because you don't possess the Demara bracelet, you cannot go, so conversely here, having one truly means you can surely go with me then. You really didn't expect me to have a spare, did you? Afterwards, the two arrived at the outskirts of Hastings finally, and what they simply needed to do now was quickly gather relevant information indeed, to truly know how long it takes for a human village to recover. First, is to see just how many people's traces are in the marketplace. The swallower said there's not a single person there otherwise. Let's just go back then. Second, is to see how much cooking smoke rises from all the houses.
The swallower also said it's past mealtime now.
So, let's go back. Third indeed, is to check how many mercenaries and adventurers are in the commission office.
Fourth, and most important, are all the taverns and inns there.
That's truly where all the information ends up. Damn it, where did this guy really go? Seeing the swallower become so enthusiastic upon hearing about the inn, Patrick's blood pressure spiked sharply, and his skull actually cracked. Don't worry, little brother.
I truly know this route very, very well. The moment they actually pushed the door open, they felt this city was truly doomed completely.
Forget about people, they couldn't even see a single rat around. However, the worst situation was far, far from just only this. As they say in life, you want to see that person. In death, you ultimately want to see their corpse. But now, they couldn't see even a single body at this time. In a wasteland indeed, on the outskirts of Hastings City,
here were buried all the corpses, those transported from within Hastings itself.
However, at this very moment now, they were being given truly new soul. Teams of zombies answered the dark call and instantly rose from the ground.
From today forward, I am your new master. The next real target beyond Hastings is the very heart of the Empire. Because of the terrible Black Disaster's sudden appearance,
the Empire is now extremely weak, truly.
And now is our heaven-sent opportunity indeed to break through yet. At this very time, the two in the quiet inn were still investigating information that, completely unaware of the long-haired skeleton's dark actions just now. Suddenly, a strange sound from the attic caught Patrick's keen attention.
I'm the owner of this old inn. May I now ask what brings you two here precisely?
Obviously, the inn owner was also very clear that anyone indeed visiting during this quite special period
would definitely not be very friendly indeed.
To then dispel the inn owner's lingering doubt, Patrick indicated he was truly from the Black Dog Adventure Group. Coming here now was only to then investigate the incident situation,
hoping the owner could help solve the immediate accommodation problem. Hearing they were guests, the owner still reluctantly refused now, due now to the Black Disaster's sudden appearance.
Food in the city had long since been entirely cleared out. Under just these very difficult circumstances,
most people still focused just on simply taking refuge, trying now to avoid too much outside contact.
Patrick immediately understood the owner's implied meaning, then threw something down, signaling the owner to accept it quickly.
How about it now? Can you prepare a room upstairs for us please? My most noble adventurer sir indeed. I've eagerly prepared the luxury suite 888 just for you.
Just then the keen inn owner noticed something was off here,
immediately asking what person was just behind the adventurer. Sir, you mean this person?
He's just only my slave now because he helped me quite a lot.
I indeed give him corresponding treatment accordingly. Hey, what do you exactly mean by all that?
Just shut your mouth now, I'll talk to you all later. So this new slave will stay in as me here now. Just entering, the swallower truly felt very surprised. This place was truly much better than the inn he'd stayed at in years before that.
Speaking of which, why did you even call me a slave just now early? You better give me a really reasonable explanation now. Patrick secretly stuffed his treasure into the drawer quietly, then questioned the swallower here about his clothes right away. Dressed quite like this, are you saying you're the very leader of the beggar gang now?
A slave now is really the master's property anyway.
Others certainly won't target you, and I'm a member of an adventure group anyway. How could I ever not have a truly loyal hound by my side then?
Then Patrick quickly said he needed to then go out.
Boss, aren't you currently dying just to sleep soon? Definitely, yes, and in my actual next life truly. I really want to be a stone then.
The swallower suddenly felt his master had now finally said something at last.
Ah, human youth is truly great, just lie down and sleep soundly now.
Ever since the devastating black disaster descended upon the Grand Plaza,
the royal family desperately needed a scapegoat, you see,
to take full responsibility for this terrible disaster event. This blame, that should have fallen squarely on the Lord of Hastings himself.
Now, before the royal family could even act decisively,
the Lord had tragically hanged himself, sadly.
Obviously, both sides had major conspiracies deeply involved in this affair.
So, the urgent priority was to quickly infiltrate the Lord's mansion soon, and meticulously investigate the new Lord's true identity now. Clearly, and after completely losing their convenient scapegoat,
the royal family would definitely implicate family members, indeed.
So, if the new Lord was a direct blood relative of the old Lord,
they might very likely become the royal family's unfortunate new target quickly.
But just when Patrick arrived at the Lord's mansion itself,
he keenly noticed something was truly wrong in the entire city.
Only here did large numbers of soldiers suddenly appear in force.
Although taking them all down would be relatively easy now, it was almost dawn already, and obviously there wasn't enough time left.
So, investigating the new Lord's true identity would have to be postponed now, and several suspicious key points in the city caught Patrick's keen attention.
Even more unlike ordinary human,
Patrick, as an undead, was much more sensitive to lingering corpses. After he quickly broke open a secret door leading underground now, a strong fragrance of corpses actually wafted directly up from the bottom indeed. At this very time, the swallower had just barely fallen asleep when he was awakened sharply by knocking.
Sorry, Boss Patrick. No, my master has already gone out for a walk this morning.
The owner said to thank the adventurous sir for his truly generous payment. He wanted to kindly invite both to come downstairs for a simple meal later.
After telling the swallower the owner's name, the swallower then asked the owner about Hastings' current situation now.
The owner said after the terrible black disaster descended on the plaza, the few survivors who saw that horrible scene all fled away in absolute terror.
All merchants and civilians didn't dare to return to the city now.
So Hastings completely lost all contact with the outside world. That people who sadly starved to death outside the city piled up high like a mountain.
So the owner advised the swallower to leave quite early now. Just about 2.5 quick minutes after the swallower went downstairs now,
an uninvited guest so quietly opened his room window wide.
Obviously, someone's precious treasure was about to be sadly lost then. Oh no. Oh dear no. Patrick's treasured possession couldn't be saved really.
After all, this was an important object symbolizing a man's full dignity indeed.
Just now,
the swallower had just then gone downstairs to eat with the innkeeper there,
and immediately a redhead secretly snuck quietly into the room there.
She could quite tell at a single glance the true value of this luxury suite now,
and determined the owner wasn't really an outsider anyway, but a local here.
It looked like the room's owner was quite probably a merchant rich as oil. In fact,
definitely hiding quite a few positive energy goodies too. Not taking absolutely everything this time
would be a total disservice to my 2.5 hours of waiting now. But just then, as the redhead was about to start her zero-cost shop, a peculiar piece of clothing right on the bed caught her sharp attention.
Why exactly does this old rag smell like it has been worn by some dog?
Hasn't even been properly washed for decades, at the very least, I said. Whatever it is, this thing still can be quite used as just a bundle now. But then, as she opened the large suitcase there, she seemed genuinely very disappointed. In fact,
strange indeed, why is there absolutely nothing in here now? Could all this have been taken by that armored person who just went out? Impossible for sure, his armor couldn't truly hide anything either. When the redhead anxiously searched through absolutely all the drawers here,
she finally discovered a very mysterious item in the second row drawer now.
A long, rod-shaped treasure was hidden quite deep in the drawer indeed, emanating such an uncomfortable, eerie, cold aura.
Suddenly, a big question mark instantly appeared right above the redhead's head.
What kind of strange creature would truly have such a large component like this? After fully 2.5 solid hours of investigation now,
when Patrick returned later, he found the boss surprisingly wasn't sleeping at all.
You're back, my master indeed.
I've been patiently waiting for you for quite a long time, boss. I just went to the Lord's grand mansion, planning to check out the new Lord there, but unfortunately the security there was far too tight now. I had no choice but to return empty-handed now.
Compared to what just happened outside,
Patrick was more concerned about why the boss still wasn't quite sleeping.
Why else?
That innkeeper has really taken a liking to you and eagerly wants to make friends. He told me all about things that happened right in Hastings during this time.
The swallower's surprising words nearly dropped Patrick's jaw in shock.
Is the boss truly actively participating in the detailed investigation?
Do you even know how many long years I've waited for this rare moment? This is truly even more rare and precious than lucky lottery balls now. Rolling out 5 5s also, boss perhaps? When you sleep, You'd better not open the window specifically during this special period. There unfortunately might be sneaky thieves climbing right in. The swallower was completely stunned for around 2.5 seconds after hearing this. What exactly are you talking about now? I surely didn't open the window. Ha ha boss there. Don't even joke with me like this ever now. If not you, then was it just blown away by the wind truly?
I don't know either, maybe. Perhaps it really was the wind or a thief.
Oh no indeed.
The clothes Renee personally made just for me are gone now.
My cigarettes are gone too boss. Did you even see what exactly I put in the drawer truly?
That big treasure, the swallower, now looked quite confused.
What could be lost there that would scare Patrick just like this? Boss, this is a little bit hard to say aloud. After all, that certain thing is the biggest component on my body at this time. On the other side now.
A woman was running frantically down the street here after running 3 blocks straight.
They surely shouldn't be able to find me now, right Ev?
Just then, a very heavy voice called out to Rosa, indeed.
It's so late, and you're still running outside all alone? Did you forget what specifically I told you now?
Food is already quite scarce, if you sneak out just like this.
What will everyone truly think? Please listen to my full explanation now. This time, I truly went out for everyone's very livelihood. Wasting energy can also count a bit. As for absolutely everyone here, am I here truly to listen to your jokes late at night?
Suddenly, shouting from the distance interrupted their strong argument.
You two wake up truly earlier than chickens now. As a thief not afraid really to act at night at all, your courage is quite big indeed. But leaving without really saying anything and running out, that's surely your fault before properly doing things.
You should deeply think about if it will cause more trouble for others.
You know well the current real situation. This place is quite different from your previous warm home. I understand fully, Captain Sir. I'll pay closer attention later on.
Then Rosa poured the truly stolen treasure onto the ground there.
Hearing it was fully taken from the inn here.
The captain's face then immediately changed drastically indeed.
Just looking at them there.
Staying in the inn's best room and hiding this thing so very deep, I truly think its value must certainly be very expensive.
But then, after hearing Rosa's insightful word, the captain's furrowed brow deepened even more indeed.
This strange thing isn't some high-value item at all here, but instead a human rib bone. Toad immediately said, damn now.
So you're certainly from the mountain-moving sect, are you? The captain immediately denied Toad's quick statement here,
because if she were truly from the mountain-moving sect,
she couldn't possibly look so incredibly proud now.
This rare rib bone was very likely collected by someone for dark spell. Some people in this world even treat such odd things as collectibles now. What the wise captain cared about most at this important time was just how incredibly tall the owner of this rib bone must have been. If it was somehow being used for necromancy or black magic craft, then the current grim situation would quickly become very dangerous. Also, just this clothing here. Though it looks like something a beggar would wear on the surface now,
it secretly uses a very expensive fabric indeed. Just as the captain gently shook the strange clothing net,
an unexpected crisp sound then came straight from the pocket. These gold coins right here together would buy a house in Yasna.
You two idiots, now truly isn't the time to be happy now. We most definitely have a big problem now.
Now, connecting all this stark information leads to one conclusion here. The owner of these very things is really dangerous now at this moment.
They're still steadily coming to the collapsed Hastings indeed. Obviously, not actually for any simple purpose there. What we greatly feared indeed has truly come now.
Just precisely as the captain finished speaking here, urgent, quick footsteps came suddenly from directly behind them.
Good morning you thieves, who've been practicing now for 2.5 years.
Since you keenly know we're really not to be messed with, right? You certainly should know just exactly what to do without me saying any more.
Damn it, how exactly did these two guys manage find us here?
The swallower looked sharply, and he saw the clothes were now still in his very hand.
He finally breathed a great, deep sigh of relief that, if somehow the clothes couldn't actually be found and Renee knew about all this,
something potentially even more terrible surely might happen to Hastings here.
Her extreme anger would most definitely implicate me severely indeed. After all indeed. I was the one who repeatedly insisted on bringing the boss right out. No way, these clothes absolutely cannot be damaged by them surely.
Then the captain immediately signaled the two behind not to act rashly now.
I can return it to you, but do answer my question here first. How exactly did you truly find this specific place here?
There's really absolutely nothing to it truly. It's just that the big treasure in your hand is calling out to me loudly.
Alright, hurry up and finish this now.
I want to go right back to sleep. Fine with me.
I'll tolerate you once after all the boss's performance here. Today was quite good indeed. How about it though? Can you return our things to us now then? However, the captain didn't relax yet. Vigilance because of just this indeed. Even if I return it I can't quite guarantee you'll let us go now.
What you say there seems to make some real sense.
According to Rosa's description here, She didn't leave any traces behind, which means these two are very likely true black magic users now. Otherwise they absolutely couldn't ever achieve long-distance tracking at all. Are you people who truly live in such darkness?
What you say isn't so wrong. It is indeed a bit dark in this cave here.
Sure enough, this mysterious person is clearly a black magic user now. Then this rib bone is very important to you right here?
Of course indeed, after all. It's part of my own body, as important as your own body is.
In that case, I'll simply return it to you here. Almost as soon as the words fell completely,
the captain threw both crucial rib bones into the dark air. That bastard actually played rather dirty with me here.
Then,
the captain immediately signaled the two to quickly take the wounded one
and retreat now. He would cover their rear guard always. My big treasure here after Patrick's truly desperate lunge now. The two crucial rib bones were still caught without incident, though.
However, just then indeed, a strange figure slowly emerged from the darkened corner there. Suddenly this mysterious man raised his own right hand up from the darkness.
Though Patrick was truly confused, so
his brain really wasn't damaged at all, truly.
The man was shocked indeed. How is this even possible?
Even the wild boars in our village would surely die from this very move.
You all just saw it.
They clearly made the very first move now. So what comes next now is another story altogether.
As soon as those very words fell just now, an assassin suddenly and swiftly attacked from right behind.
The short blade broke on sheer impact the moment it touched bone. Indeed, the swallower's casual punch made the food he digested last night
surge right up to his mouth. Big brother, oh no, are you a devil, perchance? No, no,
wait, big brother, just wait. Please, spare my worthless life now. Then the swallower asked his wise master how to deal with exactly this. Patrick quickly said our pigs at home truly need breeding now.
They're quite excellent stock for sure.
The man panicked, yes, and wanted to run fast when he heard this at all, but was caught swiftly on the spot by a truly merciless iron hand.
This hard slap teaches you how to properly voice act indeed now. Don't tell me you suddenly want to eat something too, eh?
Very good, then buy one, I said.
Get one completely free, and here's another slap for you now.
After a full 2.5 minutes of loving education indeed,
the swallower's clothes were also retrieved fully intact still. What Patrick truly didn't expect at all was that the fallen Hastings still hid so many humans inside now.
He simply thought they would certainly have a map of the village now, but after searching thoroughly for ages it seemed, found nothing at all. If he knew it would waste time so much,
he might as well have solved everything directly perhaps.
Patrick just immediately turned to ask the boss's true opinion. But unexpectedly now, the swallower suddenly said, "Master, please come lie down with me for a brief while. It's really so comfortable here. I've already dusted it clean fully for you."
Sure enough now, this kid would cause great trouble if not watched for a day.
At this moment in time, someone suddenly walked right out from the crowd then. His trembling words caught both their full attention now. "Big brothers, I am truly sorry. I stole that thing back then." My brother did indeed that voice acting truly, but sadly my own brother is already quite dead now.
Please, I truly beg you now.
Let them go now. This has absolutely nothing to do with the others here. Right at this time, Toad grabbed Rosa quickly. With these cruel idiots, they never planned to leave anyone alive really. The swallower was delighted indeed to hear this.
Didn't expect there were smart people among these humans now. The rest is up to you now, Patrick. You certainly know what to do, right? Patrick calmly said, of course, now. He knew just a bunch of mere chickens and dogs here could be solved in 2.5 seconds surely.
As Patrick pressed forward step by calculated step, both their hearts rose to their very throats it seemed. Seeing this unfold, Toad immediately drew his short blade to firmly block in front of Rosa. "If you dare come over, I'll die right here for you to see truly."
Then Rosa immediately took out a precious treasure then. "I absolutely won't let you die today, no." After a brief incantation spoken, Rosa's surroundings instantly burst with such dazzling light now. Seeing this, Patrick's mighty frame couldn't help but slightly tremble. Before Rosa could fully finish her intricate spell, Patrick flashed right to her front at extreme fast speed, lifting her up quickly and immediately asking Rosa directly, exactly where, did you get this strange thing?" Even if Rosa didn't say, Patrick was quite clear about it. This was a chicken, and this chicken-shaped treasure contained strong magic power specifically for surveillance use. Even Patrick found it hard indeed to imagine that in this civilian area, there would be someone who could skillfully use surveillance magic art. Soon, he fully realized there was something very suspicious going on about this cave. With another swift flash, he came before the swallower boss swiftly. The civilians of Hastings seemed to be closely monitored by someone unseen.
Though that young girl awakened the chicken's true function full, that mysterious treasure can only properly activate under specific conditions. So,
We must first confirm all the activation conditions without delay to follow the intriguing trail, and find what deep conspiracy the person behind all this truly had. The Swallower was also quite curious himself after hearing this detailed report. Hastings wasn't precisely a city famous at all for magic itself, yet had so many quite strange magical treasures there. Then that little skeleton indeed said they should use a truly gentle strategy with the humans now, hoping the boss could cooperate and truly help out. The Swallower was quite confused when he heard all this. These humans are already indeed so terrified. How can you still possibly be gentle now? Patrick then tapped the steel door on his head softly to tell the boss that smart intelligence had taken the very high ground now. Patrick told everyone he was certainly here under Imperial order, and one of the commands was simply to leave no traces. So we're truly not attacking you just because you stole things. Both were quite confused after hearing this statement. Are you perhaps sent by the royal family too? That's right, we are indeed the royal family's direct secret organization. Shadow adventurers, surely of the House of Runa. You can be indeed completely at ease right about that. We simply won't harm you at this current time. Curious people then asked why the adventurer sir would come to Hastings. Patrick said quite positively. Told everyone that saving Hastings was their organization's true, unshirkable responsibility indeed, and is choosing to disobey imperial orders by not killing everyone there. Required everyone now to provide all information related to Hastings. Only by quickly understanding the whole situation and finding the cause now can we swiftly provide help and supplies to Hastings quickly. I'll give everyone some time now to truly consider whether to restore Hastings' former peace. Entirely rests up to you all. Everyone immediately began small group discussions after hearing all this, and in absolutely no time at all, the people who'd finished discussing came forward, one after another now, to express their true full support now. Then Patrick told the Swallower he had fully convinced the humans now. They're like people who simply can't swim at all. Falling into water, they'll instinctively try to grab onto anything they see there. The Swallower simply said that really makes good sense. So, can we go back now then? Patrick immediately gave a definite negative response at once. Though I am grateful truly for Patrick's hard work here, I somehow feel truly things became more troublesome, especially because of him now. Sure enough, he's clearly my greatest enemy to sleep for real. Upon hearing the boss's sarcastic tone, the little skeleton immediately retorted back. What do you even mean, looking for a beating again now? No, master at all. I mean that true enemy hiding behind the scenes, from this current situation. Boss, you also need to get up and actually work. The Swallower was quite unhappy hearing this too. You're so enthusiastic about this today. Can't you simply do it all yourself? Patrick was quite furious. I don't know. Clone Jutsu, the difficult captain sighed, he will handle for sure. And boss, you just need to build good relations with humans here. The Swallower really couldn't believe his own ears just now. Let me build good relations with humans? Did I perhaps hear wrong? Patrick was also very helpless about that. Between a truly handsome adventurer and a boss dressed like a beggar, who looks more approachable here? Isn't that hard to guess, right now? If I actually heard correctly, didn't you just insult me right now? Patrick simply said he was just giving an example that you doing the very same things as humans do is also a good way to build better relations with those humans. Listening carefully to Patrick's wise word, the Swallower quietly fell deep into solemn thought. Humans truly spend most of their day simply sleeping sound. Even when awake, they just wander aimlessly the very streets and take walk. When tired quite from walking, they find some soft grass just to lie down and rest easy. After indeed thinking it thoroughly through, the Swallow surely felt this was just simply too very cool. Just simply do what they normally do day by day. Though I don't know why what the boss thought to ever say such very thing. I just have a bad foreboding feeling about this boss today. Don't ever forget to extract full information from all the humans' mouth, especially since the force is hiding carefully behind that very chick. Yes indeed, my master most wise. Just in case you see, I still must need to remind you just now, no matter exactly what humans may do to you there, you truly must endure it all. I know you're so nagging sir right now. Are you perhaps also a shadow adventurer of the great house of Runo, then? But perhaps an adventurer sir then? Why ever do you dress like a mere beggar? You simply don't understand a single thing. This must surely be the disguise the esteemed sir wears when venturing out. At this tense time, the Swallower truly had only one thought in his mind, which was to directly swallow all these annoying people right now, and be done swiftly with it, but under great pressure from Patrick here. Even the mighty Swallower had to patiently endure again and again now. Hello there, little friend of mine. What pressing question do you eagerly want to ask me now? The innocent little friend immediately asked the powerful Swallower if he had by chance seen Lord Yunsei around, and Lord Adele. The Swallower said he frankly hadn't seen them yet, but those names sounded vaguely familiar to him. Then Rosa came respectfully before the Swallower once again now, and sincerely felt extremely sorry for her impolite previous behavior then. No real problem, the precious things came safely back intact anyway now. The wise Swallower was very clear indeed, that the pretty girl before him now
was surely the breakthrough point for building strong good relations here. Then Toad proudly told the Swallower he was the vice captain here, responsible indeed for leading all of the people here to fully cooperate with them, sir, and promptly invited the Swallower to immediately go with him to see Hastings.
Current situation, don't humans actually need their sleep after all? Why exactly would they call me to go look now anyway? Better just forget it for now. Rather than staying right here to receive rounds of questioning now, bombardment, might as well just change to some quieter place now. Your suggestion is really very good. Let's set off right now then.
The Swallower was curious about just one thing all along the way here. Why were all of the streets completely empty? Then Toad brought the Swallower to a certain door here, and told him that the true answer was just inside. As soon as the door slowly opened, a really pungent smell rushed right out. They are all people who starved to death in this current famine now. Every household's grain was cleared completely out half a month ago. Human nature truly finds it hard to resist the temptation of fresh food.
It's quite hard to imagine just what tragic endings they all experience.
Right at this time, the Swallower told Toad his pressing question
about the humans he had seen during past famine,
who would direct their mounting anger toward the Lord's castle then. But why precisely were Hastings people different exactly? The terrible black disaster has been over for more than a month already.
Many people now won't even dare mention the black disaster even.
Then Toad very quickly closed the old window there, afraid their hushed voices would carry right out now.
After a noticeably long moment of silence,
Toad still decided to bravely tell the Swallower the full truth. As soon as he himself began speaking aloud, it deeply shocked the poor Swallower right to his core here.
The man possesses world-destroying power, quite like a dungeon boss. After he completely destroyed a whole city,
many quite strange things then happened suddenly, so he then decided to go investigate more with Toad together.
From Toad's grim account he learned that after the black disaster descended now,
someone maliciously set fire to fields that were about to soon be harvested. From then onwards someone deliberately spread wild rumors around, that anyone at all who ate those blackened grains now, would be infected surely with the disease soon. Thus Hastings quite became cursed land itself. They even heard dark rumors that the royal family would abandon Hastings. In this grim way everyone lost true hope of survival now.
It was then that a brave couple stepped forward that,
since their own fields weren't affected too badly,
they generously distributed their grain to the civilians in the city.
Just when most people felt there was still hope left to hold on to,
an unimaginable and dark accident happened here. One dark night someone secretly broke into the couple's home there.
When discovered indeed the next grim day, both were lying in dark pools of blood already lifeless now. From then on people began to darkly suspect each other truly,
starting to kill and plunder for much more grain itself. People feared their grain would be robbed by neighbors soon, so everyone shut tightly their doors and eventually starved right to death. Toad and his group have survived until now here, precisely and grimly by eating those blackened grains off.
They surely chose to hide this grim map, to avoid the villagers generating murderous intent once more again. Due to greed, those grains truly never had contact with my main body.
Of course, absolutely they wouldn't be contaminated, naturally. But indeed what purpose does the person spreading such rumors even have?
Then, soon the Swallower followed Toad right to the border of Hastings now.
At a glance, quickly,
there were endless piles indeed of civilians stacked high like mountains. Toad said, explained what they saw was only part of all of it now. The Swallower then wondered why not just dispose of these corpses now.
Leaving them exactly here wouldn't they attract insects and surely cause plague?
Fear occupied everyone's very hearts without knowing others' true cause of death. No one dared truly step forward to clean up this huge number of corpses here. They greatly feared some contained the black disaster's dark curse now.
Then, well why don't you handle it yourself now? Since, certainly you know it's fine real.
Forgot to then tell you that couple were Rose's dear parents now. Their remains too are also among each of these now. We don't dare freely handle these corpses here,
because we then might not be able to provoke the person behind all this here. Then, Tao
quietly told them the Swallower that guards, sure, working both the morning and evening shifts diligently, they were carefully monitoring everything here daily too.
Also they don't let anyone leave this very city now. Hearing all this indeed,
the Swallower immediately connected all this to the Lord's strict order, having such strange behavior right during this very period. Obviously, the Lord was definitely very suspicious indeed. The scene then shifted to the primordial core instead, where the two were leisurely enjoying some afternoon tea together.
Mel really wanted to then follow, but sadly was left back at home by the Swallower now.
Just really thinking about it made her feel quite empty now.
Love had then ultimately disappeared indeed.
Mel, oh, you can't think like that surely.
Master Swallow entrusted the most important dungeon part to us. This clearly proves he really trusts us very much too. You wildcat, you dare compete with me for Master's true affection now?
Serves you completely right being left behind guarding the house itself.
I also really think what you've said makes perfect sense here. Surely enough, Master Swallow still truly has me in his heart still.
Wildcat, no, wait just a moment, Mel.
Shouldn't you really go check the room now?
After all, We truly don't know when humans might attack you. Mel actually said not to worry about this specific point, because she surely had the Watcher's eye to observe any time now.
Anyone stepping into the territory now would be closely monitored.
No way, we have visitors. Just as Renee finished speaking, indeed,
based directly on feedback from the Watcher's eye itself,
Mel judged there should be only a single intruder around.
Soon Renee keenly felt a strong aura rapidly approaching fast, immediately signaling Mel to fully prepare for fierce battle now. As the intense aura approached, the trembling became increasingly so. Suddenly, a striking red light appeared before both their eyes now. Its terrifying pressure swept through the whole entire room fast.
Then a mysterious figure slowly walked straight out from the red light, followed closely by a voice that sounded quite familiar here.
To Renee, strange herself indeed. Why did you come here? Renee immediately stretched her hand right out to block in front of Mel now. The unexpected visitor was Elizabeth indeed.
Renee seemed both quite delighted and surprised indeed by her visit,
because dungeon bosses rarely interacted normally with each other.
After all, everyone truly had a dungeon that needed proper guarding at this time.
Renee expressed anger that she didn't give any advance notice at all.
She really didn't have any time to fully prepare delicious treats for her.
Elizabeth calmly said that it really didn't matter at all.
If not, she could perhaps use Renee's own blood to entertain herself.
Renee immediately refused the very proposition.
Elizabeth, after hearing this strong refusal, said, "Forget it, you drain a person completely dry." Then Elizabeth noticed Mel was a new face, and so she asked about her identity. "I am the Demon King, standing proudly above tens of thousands of monsters now. The 17th Master, so proud, of Demon King Castle, and I am Mel."
"Mel, allow me to properly introduce you then. This here is Elizabeth, the boss now of Trite Castle itself." Hearing Renee's own formal introduction,
Mel was indeed very flustered now regarding Renee here.
"If I keep only being a guest here, can I possibly see all the dungeon bosses too?"
"Mel, you're truly really something else.
Joking about being a lifelong guest is quite thick-skinned truly."
At Elizabeth's signal, a bat suddenly flew right out, respectfully filling Elizabeth's cup with delicious red wine.
"Strange, ever since coming here I see.
I haven't seen that idiot Patrick anywhere."
Then Renee told Elizabeth all about their outing recently.
With the current situation being now so bad,
they actually left the dungeon even at this dire time.
Seeing Elizabeth so very nervous now,
Renee choked up and directly asked what happened exactly.
Hearing this now, Elizabeth's expression became very serious then. Elizabeth told her all the villages around the castle were fully destroyed. Based on the massive amount of blood at the scene here,
there were definitely really no survivors whatsoever, but strangely all of the corpses disappeared completely. Moreover, those bloodstains were specifically like attack routes, see, all heading precisely in the same dark direction, and that very direction pointed clearly to the city of Hastings precisely. Mel immediately instantly thought of undead creatures right away. Elizabeth acknowledged Mel's dark guess then.
Now, only that single type truly fits all these factors. Most undead creatures are mindless, you see, with virtually no thinking ability. Those undead with intelligence often add prefixes to their very name, using modifiers like ancient now, to clearly indicate high-level species. The Royal Legion's actions here have quite high consistency, plainly indicating someone is controlling them from truly behind. So, based directly on Elizabeth's speculation, she definitively reached this conclusion. There's only really one high-level type that can mass control corpses. That truly is Orpheus, famously known as the King of the Undead. Orpheus does sound so very familiar.
Does he use guns? You kid play too many games, really? Then Elizabeth then asked if there were messenger minions
to quickly deliver this crucial news to that absolute idiot. Renee said those minions all guard rooms and have never gone out.
They couldn't even find their master's location at all here.
Even so, I still truly believe the master can handle this easily. This entire family surely seems like complete idiot. Without Patrick, this very family would soon fall apart, sooner or later. Just at this moment, an excited little hand now could no longer restrain itself.
Since truly none of you quite have a solution, isn't this the perfect chance, an opportunity for my debut here?
Turning now to the outskirts, the edge of Hastings, Lord Patrick of Castle was now going to find the Lord for his answer.
To fully know just what conspiracy the Lord was plotting then
required, yes, using some rather high-level intelligence now. So Patrick cleverly stole some harpy eggs it seemed. They're pack animals, they would definitely come looking for it. The little skeleton was immediately impressed with his own cunning plan.
Don't know quite how my brain grew to be this smart now, but our great genius couldn't stay happy for even 2.5 seconds more.
He was shocked here by the dense figures in the far distance then.
He thought then
only 3 to 5 opponents would come for a small skirmish of sorts. But what came was hundreds, a full military assault right now.
Why are you two looking at me so nervously still? I'm not going to eat you.